Last night, a Democratic socialist handily crushed resistance Democrat Vindman in Florida. It's the first time the DSA has won a nomination for a statewide race. We've seen a decent amount of victories from the DSA. New poll from CNN shows that the DSA now makes up 30% of the Democratic Party. And Joe Rogan's got an opinion. He's warning. It's real simple. You will have a military that controls everything if it is that these people keep winning. And you know why this story is important? I think it lends itself to a Republican victory in the next couple of months. Now, I don't know for sure. That's just an opinion. But when you put a socialist up against a well-known conservative in Florida, where you have a high density of refugees from socialism and communism, I can't imagine that socialist is actually going to win. But this matters, too, because polling has shown independent voters favor the GOP somewhere near 4-1 over the DSA. So in congressional races where Democratic socialists have won their primaries, Republicans have a massive advantage. And it could be why Trump, he thinks he can do whatever he wants with his war. He's thinking he's going to win, not just on that ground, but on the procedural grounds as well. In fact, the Bulwark, not fans of Trump, asked if the DSA could actually be a Republican psyop, because that's how deeply unpopular these people are to the broader public. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Before we do, get a great sponsor for you. It is Keats. My friends, check out KEET.io. I got a question for you. Does your messaging app want to know everything about you? Is it asking for your email, your phone number, and a whole bunch of private identifying information? The question is, why? I've always wondered this when I download these apps. Like, what do you need all this private info for? Well, Keat does not. Most people have already accepted technology companies are collecting all their data, what you click on, where you go, what you're buying, what you interact with. Keat takes a radically different approach. It's a free messaging, file sharing, and video calling app built peer-to-peer. There is no centralized company database holding your conversations, no metadata tracking, no phone number or email required. Your messages are end-to-end encrypted and move between the people in the conversation. Check out KEET.io/Timcast IRL. That's KEET.io/Timcast IRL. Download it for free. Invite someone you trust, start a conversation. You don't need a phone number. You don't need an email. There's no trackers. It is encrypted end-to-end. No centralized company database. It is peer-to-peer and free on iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Shout out, Keith. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to pick up some coffee. You got to get coffee. We got castbrew.com. Check it out. We got a whole bunch of different varieties. We've got Appalachian Nights, Rise with Roberto Jr. We got light roast, medium roast, dark roast. And if you get a stomachache from coffee, check out Ian's Graphene Dream Low Acidity. It is delicious. It is beautiful. Don't forget to also smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you've ever met in your life. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Scott Greer.
Glad to be back, and this time I'm promoting a book, or have a book out called White Pill, the online right in the making of Trump's America. Get your copy today on Amazon.com.
Yeah. Excellent. And we got a big panel today. Sir.
Daniel Turner, great to be with you all again. PowerTheFuture.com, all things energy, climate change, and all that fun stuff. Great to be back.
Sheep farmer as well.
And sheep farmer. If you want to talk sheep, we'll do that at the end.
And chickens.
And chickens.
Always chickens.
And cows.
Yes. Libby's here.
I'm Libby Emmons. I'm here. I love your Instagram. I'm always happy to follow that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm with the Post Millennial and humanevents.com.
And then Phil and the boys.
What's up, everybody? Phil here. What's up, Carter?
What's up, Carter? I'm pumped I was able to grab you and get you all here today. Got a stacked panel here, so let's get into the news.
Here we go. We got Joe Rogan himself raging against Democratic socialists. It's real simple. You're going to have a military that controls everything. People are really arguing, oh, maybe being socialist is cool. Like, this is all coming out of social media, 100%, Rogan said. It's not natural that people are sitting around reading Marx and going, what a great idea. Let's implement this. They're not doing that. Very few of those quote-unquote Marxists that you find on social media are even aware of the consequences, the historical consequences of these strategies and what it ultimately leads to. It's like checkers. It's like real simple. You're going to have a military that controls everything you do as soon as you give up everything to the state. Well, the state has the guns and you have nothing and they tell you what to do. Exactly, Steve Hilton said. Now, the reason why I actually think the Joe Rogan story is a great lead for our show here is Joe seems to represent sort of the everyman, the normie, the middle of the road politics. He's kind of left on a bunch of issues. He's critical of Trump. And here he is saying, yo, socialism is bad. And this is the results that we got last night. Angie Nixon scores socialist breakthrough in Trump's Florida. Now, the first thing I'll say is, yes, in the Democrat primary, it's not like it's that. Don't put Trump's name in there. That's meaningless. Now, it's hilarious because Vindman spent a massive amount of money. Nixon won by double digits despite raising just $975,000 to Vindman's $16.3 million in Trump's home state. Nixon's breakthrough came 1 week after fellow DSA member Francesca Hong narrowly lost Wisconsin's Democratic gubernatorial primary, and 2 weeks after a left-wing candidate, Abdul El-Sayed, won Michigan's Senate nomination. The big concern, of course, is what's going to happen in this midterm. And, I'll say this. They're doing really well. The DSA is dominating. They're crushing. They're winning most of the time. Not necessarily most of the time, but they're winning a lot. And this is the first time they've ever won a nomination for a statewide race. And Republicans probably couldn't be happier. Because now you're going to put some middle-of-the-road Republican, some right-wing populist up against an overt socialist. And middle-of-the-road people like Joe Rogan are going to say, I guess I'm voting Republican again.
Yeah, I mean, look, the average person in the United States still has a negative view of socialism. Anybody over 40 is old enough to, at least remember a little bit about what the Soviet Union, what it was, at least the way that they were portrayed, to the United States. I'm a little older than that, so it's a little more something that I was aware of when I was younger. But the idea that socialists are going to actually be a popular position, when you say, look, healthcare for all, or if you say, what are some of the other... If you talk about healthcare
Housing
for
is
all,
a human right. That thing.
yeah,
the police.
no. Well, hold on. Healthcare for all is still popular, right? That's popular with the majority of people. But once you get into the we need to abolish
Collective
borders,
ownership of everything.
yeah. Once you get into we need to nationalize major corporations,
Ending private property.
We need to, yeah, exactly. We need to get rid of police. The average person knows that policing makes communities safer. Right, that is not something that's arguable. It's only the far left wackos that think policing is actually a bad thing. The average person wants to be able to own their home. They don't want to think that they're going to have to live in some kind of commune, or home ownership is a bad thing, or you shouldn't have a lawn because that's actually bad for the environment.
Well, the DSA is like opposed to the American dream, which is, something that is amorphous and ephemeral, but also
It's not, though.
But no, I mean, people act like it is, but I think what it means is that you can have a good life at any income point, and that is something that I think is really important. Like if you look at the ability to own a home, but you're driving a bus, that's something that used to be pretty normal. You could own a home and drive a bus.
That's why
you could still get food on your table every night, and it's good food.
But that's why the Republicans are in the position they are, right? The inflation that we had in 2020, 21, and 22 was really, really bad. It was the worst inflation since the 70s. And the wages that people make have not caught up. It takes a while for that stuff to actually happen. So people are, especially young people who don't own anything, they don't have any property, they're really, really feeling the pinch now. And it's a big part of the reason why you see young people that are actually kind of, sympathetic to the idea of socialism.
Yeah, and with the DSA candidates, when you look at their policy positions, it may be popular, but they all come with this baggage of insane rhetoric and comments where they've endorsed communism, where they openly hate white people and even hate their white children, as we saw with Francesca Hong, or with Hong, her desire not just to abolish ICE, but to abolish July 4th, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and for some reason Valentine's Day. That was also a horrible capitalist holiday. But they just come along with all this freakishness and extremism. So it'd be one thing if it's like, okay, we're for universal health care. Okay, there's going to be a lot of people for that, even though that would cause a lot of problems for our country, whether we can afford it. I mean, just look at how we rolled out Obamacare. But then when it comes with all the extreme rhetoric, and even we're seeing that now with Abdul El-Sayed, who is more appealing than Hong and a lot of these others and seems to have a more common touch, but even he has this history of extremist rhetoric where
thank God he's short.
Yeah, and he wants to ban football, he wants to ban Mackinac Island, he has other similar comments with this. And so it comes with these people that they don't want freaks and extremists representing them. They want to have people that they feel they can relate to and aren't going to abolish their favorite holidays because they're too white. And they all are into this. And it also signals this point, which AOC is saying woke one was crazy.
It hasn't
but all
gone
these DSA
anywhere.
candidates are still on the woke one craze.
The whole
They have moved on past it.
that line of woke one was crazy. What I would love someone that has heard her say that, or someone that does an interview with her, to say what policy that was proposed during the woke explosion do you no longer agree with? She has not changed on anything.
She agrees with all of it.
Yeah.
And she is currently the front runner in the prediction markets.
The only thing they would have some nuance on is, well, we no longer believe in abolishing police and completely eliminating prisons.
But that's not
we're gonna
true.
defund them. But they still believe in
believe
defunding
in
them.
But that's not true. They do believe in abolishing it, and the DSA representatives have been on every major network saying as such.
Oh yeah, the DSA party.
And
as a
AOC
whole,
is a member of the DSA.
Her Jonathan Carl interview when she was pushed on why was woke one, not really even pushed, but ultimately she said that like the phrasing was bad, the wording was bad. She didn't say the ideas were bad, the policies were bad.
No.
How they presented them to the American people was what was the problem, and
Yeah.
and it shows that they believe these things firmly and at all levels. The funny thing about the race, it just quickly on the Vindman race, was looking at some of the analysis of it in terms of campaign. He was a lazy candidate.
He was
had
the
a boatload
worst.
of money. He didn't do events. He didn't do. You have to shake hands, and I will always give AOC credit for her initial win back in 2018. She was knocking on every single bodega's door. She was up and down the street. She was out there. She earned her victory over Joe Crowley. It seems like Vindman was like, I'm Alexander. I was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? I'm a big deal.
Vindman was the guy who leaked the Zelensky-Trump phone call and spurred another impeachment investigation.
It was a perfect phone call.
Yeah, it was the perfect phone call, and then Vindman leaked it. But so I don't think he has a lot of fans. He just seems kind of like twerpy and backstabby. You know, why would you want a guy like that representing you?
That was his slogan.
Twerpy and backstabby.
Vindman : twerpy and backstabby.
He had a lot of fans in 2019 during Resistance Liberals. They're like, he's our hero. Like Robert Mueller and him are going to save the country and save the republic. Well, that's 7 years ago, and the average voter no longer cares about like resistance liberal stuff from 2019.
The other funny thing about it was that he kind of just like parachuted into Florida and decided to run for office.
Carpetbagger.
And Dixon, whatever her name was kind of made a point like, I actually live here, right? And carpetbaggers, it's a huge problem on all sides. But you just show up and you're like, guess what? I'm your nominee now.
We need a new word for it.
For carpetbagger?
Yeah.
I just think we should resurrect carpetbagger.
What does
I know it's
carpetbagger
arcane,
mean
but I like
Well, they had a carpet.
They had a bag made out of the carpet,
bags.
kind of like a hobo
They're all
kind
coming
of
there.
deal.
They're moving all their luggage and carpet.
Someone that would move to
I
a
see, I
district
see.
and then run for office in that
There
district.
was that Republican primary that featured all these former politicians and candidates from other states all running in one district. They even had two people who had run against each other in Illinois that were now running in the primary down there. And then they had a New York representative and all these people. And so Florida is really setting the bar for modern day carpetbagging when all these candidates move there. But I guess it is the case, like Florida's a unique state where a lot of people there are transplants.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, a lot of their population, they're drawing in all the old people. So, I mean, I guess some of the old people are like, oh, well, we just moved here too. So we can't really fault them.
I'll make a prediction, however many months out, Ashley Moody will win by 18 points.
Yeah, I mean,
That Senate.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be.
I mean, she'll win comfortably, but I'll give her at least 18-point victory, if nothing else, because the folks who turned out to vote for the communist, they're going to vote for her regardless. But there are some Vindman voters who are like, I'm not voting for the communist. I just won't vote. I'm not going to vote for the Republican.
Sure.
I'm just not going to vote. Period. And that's the problem with why, as you said, Tim, why the right should be excited that she's the nominee. Because it will depress a lot of Democrat voters. You just can't. There have to be some good old Florida Democrats still out there who are like, I'm not voting.
to your
I'm just gonna real quick say it again. What was my prediction in February? Now, okay, I gotta correct that. Not my prediction. What were the rumors that I was reporting on in February? there was going to be a breakaway from the Trump camp. The more left-leaning elements of the Trump camp were going to break away. They were going to either run as Democrats or a third party. This is the rumor that I was hearing back in February. We talked about it on this show. And I was told Tulsi was going to resign, that Tucker was going to be in it. And what did we end up seeing? I was told right after this, no, Tulsi would never resign. Then she did. So I don't know if she's going to be party to whatever it is that's going on with this new Tucker party. But now we're seeing with the DSA taking over the Democrats, moderate Dems who hate Trump, don't want to be associated with the DSA, and they're going to start breaking away. Then you're going to create this weird fusion party with Tucker Carlson and Anna Kasparian, where it's true, though, their views are completely aligned.
Is MTG going to be there?
Of course.
Yeah.
MTG, Hassan Piker, Thomas Massey, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, their views are largely aligned now. When you remove culture war issues on the issues of foreign policy and spending in the economy, they seem to be lining up perfectly. So if moderate middle-of-the-road Dems, they want price control type policies. They want somewhat more socialist policies, but not socialism. They want more government regulation. They're not going to vote for the DSA. Those people are nuts. Who are they going to vote for? So I'm not saying Tucker or whoever is in his cohort are going to be the Democrats. That was one potential, but they're launching this whatever third party movement. At the very least, it pulls the middle of the road Dems and moderates who hate Trump away from the Democratic Party, splitting the vote and allowing J.D. Vance or Rubio to win with a smaller percentage.
It doesn't just pull the middle of the road Democrats away. It doesn't just turn them, turn their stomachs. There's this ex account, Rachel Beitkofer. She's a pollster. She works with the DNC a lot. And even she is railing against the DNC. And she's like, these people are poison. They're going to screw us, yada, yada, yada. So basically, any Democrat that has any sense about how politics works or has any idea about the voters, right? About actual voters, not just the people that are liking your posts on TikTok or what have you. Any Democrat that has a sense of the voters, they know that these people are poison. The only people that really support them are wealthy white people that are not mad, but are embarrassed because their parents had money, they didn't do anything, and so now they're all socialists. And that's actually something that historically has been kind of the norm. I mean, I think it was Tolstoy that was writing about it, how the socialists were always the ones that were children of the wealthy. And I don't know why that is, but it does seem to kind of pan out regularly.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
If you are a kid who grows up with everything being given to you, isolate the cultural elements and just imagine this. You are in a room, it is completely white, and you go, I'm hungry. And then all of a sudden, the door opens up and someone walks in with a platter and puts it in front of you. You go, fantastic. I'm uncomfortable. Someone walks in and puts a chair down. You sit and you go, this is nice. I'm bored. They walk in, they put a TV in front of you. Contrast that with another room. There's a broken TV. There's some raw ingredients. And you go, I'm hungry. Nothing happens. So you get up, you start looking around for food. You start making food. You go, I'm bored. Nothing happens. You walk over to the TV, try and figure out how to make it work. That child develops thinking, I have to work hard to get ahead and make nice things for myself. It'll never be given to me. But the people who grow up wealthy are just like, let them eat cake.
Well, and
I should just get.
Yeah, and so many of these DSA guys are wealthy and they grew up wealthy. There's this guy, Gustavo Gordillo. Have you seen this guy?
That was great.
He's he's like a chair of the DSA in New York City. His parents bought him and his brother a $1 million home in Bed-Stuy, converted it from multifamily into single family. They live there. They bought it for them in 2019. It's now $1.5 million. He talked to Martha McCallum in July about how his dad, when his dad first came from Peru, his first job was flipping burgers and his mom was a house cleaner. And that's what he said, right? His parents are now wealthy. They own 2 multi-million-dollar homes in Florida. They own this place in Brooklyn. His dad founded an engineering consulting firm. And they're doing great. And it looks like not only did the dad buy this home that his sons are both living in Brooklyn, but before that, from 2016 to 2019, he was actually paying this DSA chair's rent on the Lower East Side, $2,600 for an apartment downtown. And this guy has the nerve to go on Fox News and talk about how people of his generation, they just can't get ahead. And they just don't know how to do it. And it's like, really? Because it looks like you're just sucking on your daddy's big bank account.
Someone should find the dad and tell him he failed miserably as a father.
Well, the New York Post asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, I bought this home for my," because to him, that's a sign of success.
Yeah, but
he came from Peru. He worked his way up. He did all the good stuff.
But yet you
and
were
now
stuck
he's
with
got
the
these
kid.
brat kids.
Exactly.
Now his kids want to implement the same policies that made him probably flee Peru.
Flee Peru in the first place.
It's like the Al Sayed brother and sister. The brother says that we deserve 9/11. The sister was arrested for spitting on a cop.
And she's she's a Chicago.
Yeah. And you want to go back and look at whoever
Professor.
processed their visas and say, what did we benefit from bringing these people over here? Like, why are
None.
they here? Like, so we got this family from Peru, and maybe we can say he built something, but now we're stuck with the idiot kid who hates this country and hates everything about it. Probably hates Thanksgiving too.
Right.
You know, like this is what.
And the
we're-
Certainly
Al-Sayed
wouldn't
mom
defend
was
it.
like,
Certainly
we're a
wouldn't
better
defend it.
world for this. We're a
Muslim
better
Brotherhood stuff.
nation. Like, what? How does this improve America or improves you? It's like, oh, you realized your dream, but you know what, brother? America is not the platform for your personal journey. It is a country and a culture, and that stuff just pisses
Not
me
just
off.
an
beyond
economic
compare.
zone.
It's not an economic zone. So go the hell back to Peru. I'm sorry, and take your dumb kid with you.
I don't know.
with
I
his
think the
bad
dad
mustache.
should probably stay, but the kid should get
I
out.
don't want any of them.
You can buy him a house in Peru. That's the
With that much,
compromise.
he could probably buy Peru with how much money
Well,
he's
he's
made.
got like $8
the
million
son
in
and
property
the son is
alone.
deported, and the father buys him a nice house in Peru.
He could probably
And
buy.
he can enjoy his Peruvian destiny.
Yes, they can get a llama, and they can go see Machu Picchu and do all the wonderful things of Peru. I'm sure it's a wonderful place,
Just not here.
just not here.
Don't be here. Like I said earlier, I'm actually very happy that Saeed is short because short guys have a problem winning elections, and I think
That's true.
perfectly
Pol
justified.
Pot was short though.
Well, yeah, but Pol Pot
but
didn't win a lot of
stealing
elections. He was just killing people.
Also, I think for his people, he was average
Yeah,
height.
they're all short over there.
Made them all short. Yes, true.
Like over there, I'm tall. So,
Good point.
but yeah, like no kidding around. Like short guys don't win, like, and that's a good thing.
So and I think Mike Rogers is pretty tall. So when they debate,
Yeah.
they should make sure the podiums
guys,
are as close.
Make sure you zoom in on the apple
as
boxes
close
that
as
Saeed's going to
possible.
want.
Yeah.
You ever see the video of that guy at like the donut shop?
Oh,
Who's short? You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, the bagel boss guy.
Bagel boss guy.
Bagel
Remember that
boss
one?
guy. This is a year.
Went
I think
super
so.
viral because he was like got to be like 5'3", and he gets mad about something, and then just it's like the lady smirked randomly, and he goes, "Are you smirking because I'm short? This is what men have to deal with." And then they're like, "Calm down, sir." And he starts like screaming, "You can't yell at me because I'm short." And everyone's like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" And then some guy just grabs him and slams him down. Oh, yeah.
Just pat him on the head.
Bagel boss. I should pull that up.
Yeah, yeah.
It was, that was the beginning of the Manland Revolt. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. I think that would have been a great social movement. A lot
Here you
better
go.
than Black Lives Matter and stuff. We should have had Manland Lives Matter.
This guy's not winning any elections.
This poor guy.
You're great women. Why is that okay?
Why is it okay for women to say, "Oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites? You should be dead"? That's okay.
Oh yeah, I remember this
Said
guy.
that to you here. Nobody.
Women in general have said it on dating
Women in
sites. You
general.
think I'm making that shit up? Everywhere I go, I get the same smirk with the biting lip. Shut your mouth. You're not God or my father or my boss.
The lady
Dude,
like
you want to step
smirked.
outside? You want to step outside? Huh? I'm not scared of you, pal. You shut up, too. You handicapped.
I love the "you shut up" too. That's
Yeah. So it's like the bagel lady like smirked, and he's like, "It's because I'm short." That's why they don't win elections.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been 5 foot since I was about 7 years old.
A 5 foot dude is real short.
Those of us who are 6'3" have a good life.
Well,
It's
look,
in your
man.
bio. I just saw your
6'2".
Twitter.
6'2", so we
can always-
can't really relate to Bagel Boss.
No, but
there's
you can always move to Vietnam.
There's a reason why people have been like, Phil, you should run for something. I'm like, I will say the N word on Maine before I will run for something. That like there is no way I'm winning anything. I'm 5'6", like that ain't happening.
Not with that attitude.
That's right. I know.
That's the problem. You need a tall man's attitude.
Look,
Have you seen?
actually, to be honest with you,
Listen,
like
you're
being a
taller than
rock star is
yourself,
kind of
though.
cool. So I wouldn't want to stop doing that to be
that's a good point.
a politician.
Have you seen the other guy? I don't even know how this is coming up. Do you see the guy who got the leg extensions, but he didn't get the arm extensions.
Oh, man.
Let me see if I
Those
can
leg
find it.
extensions, that's painful. They have to break your legs, and then they take the bone and they separate it a little bit
Yep.
and make you taller. And they'll do it multiple times.
You have to wear gear too. Like
Yes.
they
No,
stretch
it's,
them.
It's not good. This
No.
is not
All
a
for
good
like
thing
2
to do for
inches
yourself.
too.
There's a dude who got ridiculous leg extensions,
But
like
not the arms, so he
but not
looks
the
like-
arms. So when he's walking, his arms don't reach his pockets.
Oh my God.
And people are all commenting like, "Bro, your arms are tiny, dude."
It's like T-Rex. Like,
well, because your arm isn't it like
Very
your arm
T-Rex.
span is supposed to be the same as your
It's your
height or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like your arms and legs have a proportionate size.
who's the doctor?
That's
who
why
does
basketball
these
players
things? This is
are-
where, at a certain point, the doctor has to say. It's like when you see women who get these absurd.
No, it's the
breast
same ones who cut off kids' dicks and stuff.
Exactly.
Same
Like at a
doctors.
certain point, you have an oath to say, "I can't do this to you." Like,
Well, I think this is a little bit.
Hey,
more
money
harmless.
talks,
If you
brother,
wanna
money
waste
talks.
your money on leg extensions, hats off to you. The male-lets have it tough. We need to allow them to have the leg extensions. I'm down for that. I will stand with them. I will stand with the Bagel Boss. I'll stand with those guys getting leg extensions.
Well, the Bagel Boss didn't get the leg extensions.
That dude needs like a lot lot
Yeah,
He needs a brain extension.
Yeah, he needs a lot.
I mean, he's
Anger
5
management issues.
he's 5 foot. Obviously has insecurities. He's a fat guy. He
needs to height max.
Like
Yeah, I mean, listen.
nothing wrong with bald. Some bald
If-
guys
if-
are great.
If that more than half the room is bald in here. If that guy was like in the year 1300, he just wouldn't even made it to adulthood. And the point is, I'll just put it like this. Okay, important life lessons. You can't control the cards you're dealt, but you can learn how to play. There's a better way to say it. You can't control the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails. So I got I get no sympathy for people like Bagel Boss who are screaming at other people. It's like you could figure out how to navigate this world to great success. The puzzle is solvable. But if you're a whiny little bitch who doesn't even exercise, bro, you got dainty little arms and you're fat and you're short. 2/3 of your problems are your own fault.
Yep. Look, you need to go to the gym. You need to not be fat. If you're
They go hand in hand.
yeah.
We're giving a lot of great advice to DSA candidates here. Like, get leg extensions. Don't be a whitey bitch. Work out.
No.
The
Don't be
DSA
ugly.
might win.
No,
if
hold
they're
on.
watching
They changed
this
their
now.
mind.
And
The
they
leg
are ugly.
extensions are the DSA.
Yeah.
The DSA is the party of if you're not tall, just get leg extensions. And the Republican Party is the party of if you're not tall, get fit, learn to speak better, read more books, and maximize your potential in other areas.
I think the DSA would actually rather have leg removal. That would rather is so everyone is as short as that.
Right.
That's is actually
You know-
bringing everyone down to Abdul's size and the Bagel Boss's size. So we have to walk into their very small size shoes.
the
for a day.
benefit
or maybe for the rest of our lives.
I don't think they ever
benefit
suffer
of-
through the leg extensions.
The benefit of cutting off their legs is now they're disabled, and that's an extra point
Exactly.
on the oppression scale. Look,
Have you guys ever seen the equity versus equality thing?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
People
Yeah,
in the
that's
schools.
a
So
great
let me show you.
thing.
So this is the famous image.
Kamala
and
put that out often.
so equality, the tall guy, everybody gets one crate. The tall guy can see, the medium guy can see, but the short guy can't. Equity is taking the crate from the big guy, giving it to the short guy, and now everyone can see. The first thing I always like to point out is they're stealing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a stadium game where people are paying for entertainment and these people are stealing it. So, all their arguments aside, here's the best version of it. Here's how it actually ends up working out. Equity in theory, equity in reality is everyone gets their legs chopped off. Now no one can see anything.
That's the thing. You
But
can't.
at least they're all the same now.
Someone walked home with 3 boxes.
Yeah.
You know?
And they can't steal.
This is a great point. You can't make the incapable capable. Like if you're a person that doesn't have the the cognitive ability to do like advanced calculus, you can't make that person smart enough to do advanced calculus, right? They're just not going to get it. Some concepts are just beyond people's ability. Like I'm never going to be doing advanced physics. I'm not going to ever do, the kind of mathematics that it takes to understand that stuff. I just don't have, the brain power to do it. I'm not that smart. So like, look, the idea that you can make everything equal, that's wrong. And you should absolutely do everything you can to help the smart people, like how they get rid of like advanced classes because there are some people that can't get into them. That's the worst thing you could do for your society. You want your best and brightest to be helped to excel, right? Like those people are the ones that are going to go out into the world and do amazing things and cure cancer and stuff. I mean, obviously you don't want to have, No Child Left Behind was a terrible idea. And that's an example of it. All they did was start giving kids that didn't pass tests and didn't get the grade they needed. All they did was kept moving them along. I was reading something the other day that says, the kids in college can barely do, in advanced calculus classes, can barely do like basic algebra.
Yeah.
Well, Harvard had to implement remedial math for the first time ever.
It wasn't Ivy League, but it was a significant university where the calculus professor said she spent the first part of the semester doing remedial math, and this is calculus. Like,
I think that was at Berkeley. Yeah, I was
Berkeley.
At Berkeley too. Like it's not like some college or community college or whatever.
Yeah.
This is you can't make people that aren't able to do something able to do something.
Yeah.
So your best bet is to help the people that can and make sure that they get the best education, the best advantages that they can, because they're going to go out into the world and do great things that are actually going to bring your whole society up.
I believe Mamdani got rid of in New York City a lot of the advanced schools. He found them obviously racist and offensive. And one of the schools
he tried. He hasn't been able to get rid of the admissions.
He hasn't. Which is the one? Is it Townsend Harris? There's a school, because you lived in New York for a while as well, right? So there's a public high school, Bronx Science, I forget which one, which is a public school, but it does have its own special entrance exam. And it always was the smartest kids, but it was Stuyvesant, and he wanted to get rid of it.
He wanted to get rid of it, but it turns out that the entrance exams actually help all of the students be able to excel without having to sit around and wait for everybody else to catch up.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. But I think Bronx Science, Stuyvesant, there's a couple of others that have the specialized exams. Like, you're not going to let some kid into LaGuardia, which is the performing arts school, if they have absolutely no skills. Like, why would you do that?
Imagine if I got into LaGuardia as like a sing and dance student.
Right?
Like, that would be hysterical.
That would be great.
That would be a great social experiment.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Like, I can't sing or dance, but you know what?
Bring suit against
on
LaGuardia
equity.
in the
Give me
city of
my
New York.
damn box on
can't.
equity. I want to go to LaGuardia.
You're white and tall.
Jazz hands.
Daniel.
5,
There
6,
was a
7,
case
8.
that there was a case that a student brought against NYU. This was, I think, in the 90s, because she was like auditioning to be an actor at NYU, and she didn't get in, and she sued. She was like, I'm amazing, and they were like, you're ugly, and that's why you didn't get in. And the judge was like, yeah, you can't be ugly and be an actor, so you can't go. Sorry.
Yeah, life's not
Life
equal.
sucks.
Life
Sorry.
sucks.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's amazing that he tried to get rid of so many of those programs, and just
They all do. They all try and get rid of
them.
them,
Yeah.
because they act like there's racism at play in people not getting into these schools. But these schools are really hard to get into. It's a small percentage of the population that gets into these schools.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what is genuinely racist is allowing the person based on their race who doesn't have the qualifications to get into the school, and then 6 months in watching that person fail.
This is
and
what
be
we just
miserable.
saw with
That's
Jason Arday
That's
in the
exactly
UK.
what you get. You were allowed into Berkeley as a physics major, and after 4 months, you're like, I have a 0.0 GPA. I have to, and congratulations. Now you have the debt. You have nothing to transfer.
Yeah.
You feel like an absolute failure, and everyone says, "Yay!"
And another thing is, like, when you
That's
give
the racism.
when you put kids that can't actually like excel into the hardest schools, like, you're hurting them, because if they went to another school, they might have actually done better and had a better result in their overall education and in their overall life after school. But you put them into schools that are intentionally the most rigorous, and they fall behind, they fail. That's not helping anyone.
This is all starting from a DSA conversation. It's amazing how just this political movement has such cultural
AOC
implications.
still owes on her student loans.
I saw that.
She's shelling out all this money to freeze her eggs after she split up with her fiance that she was never going to marry anyway. I mean, once you're engaged for 5 years, like, where are you really going with this? But she saved up the money for the egg freezing, even though, what is she, 37? So what is she going to hire a surrogate at a certain point? And then what? She's just exploiting women who don't have any money. And so many of the surrogates are military wives, which I just think is so abominable. Like, military wives should not be selling their bodies.
She doesn't even owe that much in the student loans.
Like $19,000.
But it is the taxpayers' money, and she doesn't give a damn.
It won't be 19 grand forever. It'll be much more than that if she doesn't pay them
Maybe
off.
that's Rogan has a point with the military would have total control. It also have total control over these military wives to serve as surrogates for all the DSA women
It's
who
the
are in
real
their 40s.
Handmaid's Tale. It's the real Handmaid's Tale is actually on the left. It's not about, abortion, which of course now there's more abortion than ever after the Dobbs decision. But that's not what the Handmaid's Tale is about.
What?
About exploiting women for surrogacy. I'm so opposed.
Yeah.
Well, the left is not going to be opposed to that. They're going to end
they
up.
like it.
They're going to be like, yeah.
They think actually that healthcare for all means that they think surrogacy and fertility treatment is part of healthcare. So they think everyone is entitled to surrogates, meaning they think that everyone is entitled to women's bodies.
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't that a nice?
Sort of amazing.
Nice
It's a little
perspective.
Switcheroo.
It's not just you're entitled to a doctor's work
Right.
and knowledge. You're entitled to.
Well, there have been like couples who have tried to get sued their insurance companies to get funding so that they could have surrogates.
Wow.
They really want to do that. Yeah.
You said there's more abortion than ever. Abortion rates have gone up post Dobbs. That's a statistic
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, because of the mifepristone abortion pills.
You know what I think the right needs to do? The right needs to come out pro-abortion, because on the left we'll just oppose it because that's what they
Trump
do.
likes it. We hate it now.
I'm not even kidding.
What's happened with tariffs? Even they found that DSA voters, which DSA ostensibly should be for trade protection. Bernie Sanders was for it.
Yeah.
But those who identify with DSA are the most pro-free trade people on the Democratic Party, because it's just the opposite of what they think.
This is
Trump
what I'm talking about. I am pro trade protectionism, and they call me right wing. And I'm like, okay, is it like Bernie Sanders was for this? I've talked about it, how in 2016, Bernie Sanders says it's a Koch brothers proposal to have open borders to bring these people in. And now all of a sudden they're for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the left used to be really opposed to illegal immigration. The Congressional Black Caucus was against it because they would say that black people were the last ones hired and the first ones fired. And so they were like, to protect black jobs, we need to not have illegal immigration. Cesar Chavez
hated
illegal immigration.
beat
He
the
was
crap
so
out of him.
opposed. Called them scabs, whatever else, like totally opposed to illegal immigration because it undercut the workers' rights movement that he was working on.
But even Cesar Chavez, at the end of the day, came out for illegal immigration as he became more of a part of
Did he
the left.
really?
Yes,
Did I
in
miss
the
that
80s
part?
in the 80s and 90s, and he had battles with it over that time. But over time, he developed his own pro-illegal immigration stance and was for it. And
That's pretty backwards of Mr. Chavez.
Let's jump to this story from Reuters. DOJ issues subpoenas in probe of Alaska candidate with same name as Senate incumbent, source says. If you weren't following, the Democrats overtly cheated in Alaska. It didn't work. What did they do? Well, Alaska's got a jungle primary. The way that works is everybody of all parties is on one primary and the top two advance to the general. This is the game plan. Dan Sullivan, the incumbent, Republican, was up against Dan Sullivan, running as a Republican, who is a Democrat. They did this intentionally so that when voters went to the ballot booth and they received their ballot, it would say Dan Sullivan twice and split the vote. And it didn't stop him from winning, but you can see that it worked. When you take a look at the NBC News results of the election, Dan Sullivan Jr., who is a Democrat who goes to No Kings protests, who only recently registered as a Republican, got 3,232 votes. Now hold on there a gosh darn minute. Other candidates with legitimate campaigns didn't get that many votes, indicating this guy, Dan Sullivan Jr., stole votes from Dan Sullivan, the incumbent, but not nearly enough to displace him. That was their plan. I do not understand how we tolerate this. And guys, I got to be honest, the more time goes on and the more of what I see, I do not believe the bifurcation is mendable. I don't know what the end result is going to be. Call it whatever you want. But when you are engaged, when you are witnessing this degree of overt cheating, and if they don't, they should subpoenas. But if they do not put people in prison over this, then our elections are just Play-Doh.
Well, I mean, it is good that the DOJ is looking into it. It's a start. That's how we get to the ultimate goal of imprisoning people that have done this. I'm not super confident that they're going to be able to put them in jail. There's precedent. The whole Hillary Clinton putting a guy in or Hillary Clinton. I think it was the Biden DOJ that prosecuted a guy for memes because allegedly
Douglas Mackey.
Douglas Mackey, he had put up memes about Hillary Clinton. There was a phone number on it, and they said, the phone number is what the key was, and that was trying to get people to not, to think that they were going to vote for Hillary by calling this number or what have you. So there's precedent. I don't know that I believe that they're going to actually do anything, though.
What's wild with the Mackey thing, of course, is the DOJ under Biden could not actually prove that anyone had been fooled by the text message number. And there was a woman that came out just a couple of days afterwards, after the Mackey thing, and put up her own video telling Trump voters to text something, and she wasn't prosecuted at all. The thing that I think is sort of wild is, did you guys see in Minnesota? So Mike Lindell lost his bid for governor, but he's launched an audit, and now he actually has standing, and he can try and get a full hand recount. And Amy Klobuchar has come out previously saying that she thought it should be hand ballots and hand counted. So I would love to see this actually be a thing where Mike Lindell finally gets his hands on exactly what's going on with voting and could expose that. That would kind of be worth it.
I think this is what you see with ranked choice voting. You can see exactly why it's a scam and what the scheme was the whole time, as well as jungle primaries. This is evil stuff. Yeah. These people need to go to prison. Dan Sullivan Jr. should get locked up for fraud.
Ranked choice voting is poison, and it's something the left pushes very hard. In Alaska, it was pushed hard because Senator Murkowski knew it would help her.
But they only push it in primaries, right? Do they push it in general?
They push it in general, and it's the only system of electing where you cast votes against someone. So it's like, so I want to vote for Libby. So if I cast for Tim and Phil, that will hurt Scott. So therefore Libby wins. And you're not voting for someone, you're voting against people. It just creates
That's how Mamdani got.
Exactly. New York, look at the places that have it. It's a poisonous system. The people who push it are poisonous people. And it is sadly getting a lot of traction. There's a billionaire in Texas, the Enron guy, Arnold, left-wing philanthropist. He and his wife have given tens of millions to push ranked choice voting. They financed it in Alaska. They financed it in New York. They want to bring it to Texas. And it's exactly for that reason, because you can put 75 people on the ballot and dilute it, and then you get this one person to shine through. Alaska keeps getting stuck with Lisa Murkowski. New York got Mamdani. California has it now as well. It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible system. It's just pure electoral poison.
Yeah, and it's just in general as a theoretical, it's just too complicated for average voters. It's like you should go into the ballot and pick one name. Yeah. It should be a clear decision. It's not you just deciding, I might like this person, I might like this. No, the vote is you're picking a person. You're making a decision. And I think it's even just general too complicated. Reason why Democrats always do this is because there's always going to be some moderates like, well, I like both people, but I don't know who to. I'll give him some of my votes, and so it's just like too confusing to people. You have the bubbles. Yeah. You fill out one bubble, or in some cases you fill out two. If there's like city council, there's some cases like that. You fill out one bubble. Yeah. I don't like the idea of like now you're doing the ranking, but Democrats obviously see it as an advantage because they know they can fool voters into helping Democrats
and they
with
can
the system.
They can play with the bubbles, right? If there's one senator, what's your one bubble? But if I get to use three bubbles, how do I know that the vote counters are not ranking my one as a one? They're ranking it as three. They're putting this one because it's three bubbles. So we're just like, well, he meant to put Scott first, but maybe we'll just say he meant Scott second and he meant Tim first. There's no way to validate. If it's just one bubble, it's one bubble, easy to count. But if it's three that are allocated 70%, 20%, 10%, I don't trust the allocation. I just don't trust any of this nonsense.
Yeah, and it's only one guy can win or one woman.
Bingo.
And then
bingo.
One bubble, one man, one bubble. That's what the one man, one vote. It's now one man, one bubble. Ranked choice voting is absolutely terrible. It's one of these ideas that people think it's good in their heads. Is like, oh, this will make things more democratic. People will get along. They'll work together, and this sounds democratic. It's one of these type of like centrist ideas that sounds like a way to solve democracy. Yeah. But the fact that New York City California are the biggest exponents of some of these silly ideas, which have the complete opposite of true democracy. It's something you absolutely don't want. And the jungle primaries are also stupid because that's what ensured that, Spencer Pratt was not going to win. But Spencer Pratt at least offered an option, an alternative to Karen Bass.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, do you want Karen Bass or do you want something even worse with Rahman? And due to the jungle primaries that came out, now Hilton was able to get into the gubernatorial, or is it gubernatorial senator?
Yeah.
It's gubernatorial. I always get that confused, but it's gubernatorial race in spite of having all these top-notch Democrats there. So he gives voters another choice. He's probably not going to win, but it still gives them a choice. But really, but also Washington's also big into these similar maneuvers, and that's hurt a lot of Republican candidates there, where they have to compete in a jungle primary, and it's maybe not the person they want. So we have a clear system that works in the rest of the country. You have party primaries, you've got one bubble, and that's it, and that's how the system works. And the fact that that Democrats are able to benefit from it, and they're learning from that, and that's why all these billionaires on their left are pushing it. So,
and they seem to be the only ones that benefit from it. And your candidate can still win the general in a non-ranked choice system, as evidenced yesterday in Florida. The DSA candidate still won, because she didn't need the ranked choice voting to sneak in through the back door. They still voted for her. And in other cases, the moderate Democrat won. So it still forces you as the candidate to be the best candidate you have, rather than saying, well, maybe I'll just get through because I'll be everyone's second choice. Yay, you won because you were everyone's second. No one wanted you. We all wanted somebody else, but you won the most second place votes. What the hell system is this? And that's how you get this nonsense. So it's a terrible system. But again, the people pushing it are not people who care about our electoral
Do you think
processes.
all 3,732? Do you think all of the people that voted for Dan Sullivan Jr. accidentally voted for him and they meant the other guy?
3,145
I think that's
of them
so
are.
terrible. That's so unconscionable.
Yeah.
And this guy talks about like, I just didn't like somebody running with my name, and he's just such a put up job.
Yeah.
He's a No Kings protester. New York Times said it.
Yeah.
It's
Total fake
an
out.
obvious criminal action.
And it was the metadata of his campaign showed that it were Democrat operatives that got the signatures, that got the...
I need to stress, just conservatives do not understand the willingness to destroy that the left has. They underestimate it every single day. They look at these people and think, well, he's just a bumbling old guy. I don't know. I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was talking about a dude who was wearing a watermelon hoodie. You guys know what a watermelon hoodie is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like Gaza?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's a sweater that's got a watermelon in the shape of Israel. And it has a very specific meaning. Now, if you go to one of these people wearing these sweaters and ask them what their sweater means, what do you think they're going to say?
I'm going to look it up. Am I allowed to Google this, or is it going to get me in trouble?
It's just a watermelon. From the river to the
No, I just support the Palestinians. That's it. What do you think that person actually believes?
They probably believe like the DSA and the
river to
complete
the
eradication
sea.
of Israel and the replacing of...
And I'm not saying you're not allowed to have that opinion. I'm just saying it's a much more fringe and extreme position on the issue. And I'm talking to my buddy, and I'm like, yeah, this dude is wearing like a watermelon hoodie. He's like, what does that mean? And I was like, well, it's basically like the end of the Israeli state, right? It's like the watermelon in the shape of Israel represents the Palestinian flag over all of Israel. No, I don't think he thinks that. And I was like, bro, he didn't accidentally go to a website that sells this niche item representing a specific political ideology. He didn't walk into the Gap and see this cool watermelon thing and buy it accidentally. He knows what it means. But regular people do not live in this world.
Right.
They can't believe it, like when we had Jason Ellis on. And he couldn't believe that Biden broke the barrier open to let people flood the country illegally.
He did it on purpose.
On purpose. This right here is the Democrat. Yeah, indeed. It's a watermelon slice in the shape of Israel representing the Palestinian flag over all of the territory.
It's on a website called wherethepeace.com. I shouldn't give out the website. We don't want people to buy it. But it's
They can buy it if they want. I don't care.
It's
I'm
not
not saying
about
you can't
peace.
have the opinion. It is not a mainstream thing where you walk into a sporting goods store and you go, I'll get the watermelon hoodie.
Yeah.
So this guy, Dan Sullivan, knows exactly what he's doing. These are depraved individuals who want power and will stop at nothing to get it, while Republicans just say, slow down there, Democrats. The only problem is, holy crap, this is overt and extreme what they did in Alaska. They should go. We got to lock them up.
Yeah.
But, this is what I'm saying, right? So I'll give you an example of something from the Jubilee thing that I did. One of the things I said was that 2 points. The mainstream Republican Party does not espouse white supremacist values. They reject it. But there are white supremacists that were hoping voting for Trump to deploy ICE would result in the death or expulsion of migrants to a great degree. Meaning, when ICE went out and started arresting people, I guarantee you there's people on X, on Facebook saying, like, just shoot them and just other crazy things like that. Despite the fact, this is a point liberals should agree on, they are attacking me for it. They don't care what we think. You are a part of the group to steal power, or you are our enemies. The policies they purport to care about, they don't. Hence, DSA being for free trade. As long as they oppose your ability to defend your country, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all they care about.
Well, and they're also, I mean, as part of that, they're all pro the International Criminal Court, which Marco Rubio just put sanctions on the heads of that, and which has, like, a bunch of judges, and the U.S. doesn't take part in the International Criminal Court because obviously it has absolutely no jurisdiction over Americans. It's not beholden to any American law. But this is the AOC has spoken in favor of the ICC. Mamdani, of course, said that he was going to arrest the head of a foreign nation who came to New York because of a warrant put out by the ICC. And it's not like the ICC has like an actual enforcement arm. And if they did, what kind of weird paramilitary would this be? It would be like some weird Star Wars stuff.
Their
going on.
enforcement is the United States of America. That's the
And
same
we
way
are
the
not, and
Constitution.
we don't take part in it.
Yeah.
We are not party to it.
So weird about the UN stuff is that we've had to, especially as New Yorkers, when I was still living at home, we had to watch Mahmoud Ahmadinejad arrive to the UN. We've had to watch African warlords who eat people, who throw gays off rooftops, right? We've had to see some of the most heinous people in the world come, and now suddenly it's like, the head of Israel, no, we have to arrest him. We have to, because the ICC says so.
Right, the only place in the Middle East where it's safe to be gay.
Kind of
Gotta arrest that
remarkable
guy.
who New York has had to welcome into this. And they all go to Columbia University, so to speak. There's
And none
always
of
a
them pay their
reception
parking
at
tickets,
Columbia.
and none of them pay their parking tickets. Not a one.
I mean, if the ICC, well, the ICC is not legitimate. The U.S., it's good that the U.S. totally ignores
I
them.
totally agree. I wrote about that for Human Events today.
Yeah, the United States is a sovereign nation. Like, we decide what our laws are. We decide what isn't, what is and is not, illegal here. So
I just, the idea that laws matter, I am so far beyond. And I'll explain it like this. Laws exist for people who agree with each other already. That's it. The example that we gave, I think one of the easiest ways to understand it, that most conservative Christians would understand, and for you guys who weren't here when we talked about it last week, if we had a Supreme Court with a Muslim majority on the court, and someone got arrested in Dearborn, Michigan for blaspheming the prophet, and it made it to the Supreme Court, he says, I appeal, blasphemy is free speech. And the federal court says yes or no, it gets appealed, goes to the Supreme Court. How do you think the Muslim court will rule? Blasphemy is free speech, or you have blasphemed and you can go to jail for it?
Oh, definitely the latter.
Oh, yeah.
What they would say is, at the founding of this nation, the founding fathers did not believe that free speech covered the right of blasphemy. Hence, blasphemy was still illegal in every single jurisdiction of this country. Thus, historical precedent says the original intent of the founding fathers was free speech was a reference to political functions such as economics, war, but not functions of faith itself, and that freedom of religion did not guarantee you the right to blaspheme. Therefore, blasphemy was a crime and may be upheld as criminal under the originalist interpretation of the Constitution.
100%.
Then, 10 minutes later, a new case comes right before them. This time, a guy who was arrested for blaspheming Jesus Christ. How do you think they will rule?
They won't care.
I think to uphold the precedent, they would probably still say, yeah, blasphemy.
Incorrect.
I
They would
think they
say
would definitely do.
blasphemy only pertains to deities and prophets of great religion. And as Jesus was not the Son of God, it's not blasphemy.
They call, but
you can't blaspheme against a man, only a God. Ergo, you can say bad things about Jesus. Thank you and have a nice day.
But Muslims actually consider Jesus one of the prophets.
But not at the level of Muhammad.
No, but
the
but
point I am making is,
I understand.
and there's no reason to be pedantic.
They don't blow
point
things
I am
up over
making is
pictures of Jesus.
They would say
free speech.
Jesus Christ is not a deity, nor is he of great religious importance. They'd say, they'd go, but Jesus Christ was just a guy. And you'd say, no, he's our Lord and Savior. No, that's incorrect. You can't blaspheme against a man. The prophet, on the other hand, that's religious. The point I'm making is those who have the power will wield the laws as they see fit, and the laws only exist for those who already agree with each other. And I'll go back to the founding of this country when the founding fathers overwhelmingly were like, oh yeah, but blasphemy is illegal, of course. To them, free speech meant if I have a problem with taxation without representation, I should be allowed to say it. And then if you went, yeah, but can I say Christ is not king? They'd be like, how dare you? No one thinks that's free speech. It would be unconscionable for someone to say such a thing. So you'll be arrested if you do.
And people were.
And they were. And they were arrested for saying that. So where are we today? It doesn't matter what your laws are. In West Virginia, lewd and lascivious acts in public are illegal, and lewd and lascivious acts in public with children are aggravated. Are they arresting the drag queens doing these public shows? No. Because what you think your laws are don't matter, just what the public is willing to exercise
it's what
against.
The norms matter, yeah.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. And of course, in Saudi Arabia,
who or not what,
and others,
it's like you can write whatever law it is, but
Yeah.
if the person determining it is a Muslim Supreme Court, they're obviously going to not care what it says. They're going to interpret it to impose their own will.
But let me just clarify. What I just said about blasphemy is not wrong. The founding fathers, under the originalist intent of the Constitution, thought that blaspheming against blasphemy itself was illegal and not protected. For generations, people went to prison. They were jailed for blasphemy. Even the founding fathers are standing right there. They drafted the Bill of Rights, and people are getting locked up for blasphemy, and they're like, of course. So that argument, if they were to make it, would not be wrong under the Constitution of the United States. However, if they were then to say, we do not believe in Jesus, you can't blaspheme against a man, we do believe in the prophet, that would be blasphemy. That is a religious interpretation that, once again, falls perfectly within the confines of a constitutional argument. They would draft it up. They would be very stoic, and they'd say, this is not bias. It is just fact. And then you'd argue and say, so let's invert it. Let's say this country never faltered from its Christian position. We can go back 60, 70 years when it's 90+% Christian. And the question of blasphemy only got turned around in the 50s is when they were like, yeah, the blasphemy thing. They arrested George Carlin for swearing. Mm-hmm. It's only in the last 60 or 70 years we have become I don't even want to describe it as liberal.
Well, swearing on TV, right? Wasn't that?
It was. I think it was
at a show.
I think it was on the radio. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it might have been. It was at a show. My point ultimately is something happened in the last 50 or 60 years where we changed from a moralistic society into a liberal is not even the right word. We've always been classically liberal, but we've all agreed on our moral foundations. Now we're classically liberal with no moral foundations.
Well, that's a big part of the issue is that we used to have societal norms. We used to have sort of the civil religion, the way that we would talk to each other in public, the way that we would behave. And the left was so intent on chucking out norms that they threw out all of the ones that actually held the society together. And now when you talk to leftists, they'll be like, Trump is destroying norms with corruption in the White House. And you're like, oh, he's the one destroying norms.
Well,
like
they have
the norms
a few
were
norms and
Sure.
social taboos. Namely, we can't be racist.
But they don't know what that
bigoted.
means. They don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, but they have a sort of an idea, but they don't. It's like we can't be racist in this. But those weren't the moral foundations of our founding fathers. This is not their main concern of like being a good person, or our norms is just not being racist or not being discriminatory unless they're a conservative or a white person or they celebrate Thanksgiving, whatever. It was a matter of something else. It was a shared moral foundation that was more than just being let people enjoy things and don't be racist, which is basically the moral foundation of the left.
It's a little hedonistic,
Yes.
really. Yeah.
And the only other taboo you can have is we still have a very strong, thankfully, a very strong taboo against pedophilia, Which
Well,
even there's
sort
been
of.
some leftists
Sort
who've
of
been
do.
trying to chip at that.
I don't know. The MAPs, they are a protected class more and more in society. The minor attracted peoples,
But
right? As they're
even
trying
the
to
left is getting into this because all the
Well,
40-something women are upset at 50-year-old actors dating 22-year-old women. So they've decided that that's the new pet. But that's another discussion. The main thing is that their moral
Right,
foundation
because they've decided
is,
that adult women don't have agency.
yeah, they've decided that if you're
Which is weird.
24 and a
You're
40-year-old is upset that you're dating a 50-year-old dude, that's pedophilia. But the main thing is their only moral foundation is don't be racist and let people enjoy things.
Well,
That was not the moral foundation of our
the
foundation.
concern I have with what Tim was saying is if we go forward, I know you talk a lot about the oncoming civil war. You still listen to radio ads, TV ads in the airport. See something, say something, and I've talked a lot about this. See something, say something only works for society if we have a common shared understanding of what we see that is disturbing. I see Al Saeed say we deserve 9/11. Who do I say something?
Well, he didn't say that.
Or I see Hassan Piker say
Yeah.
we deserve 9/11. Who do I say something to? Right? See something, say something.
Well, but that's not what it's about. I mean,
it's about
see something was about like someone dropping a bag and then running away.
how do I tell someone that's something wrong?
Well, now this is where your
we
point
see
makes the
homeless
most sense.
people stealing things nonstop from
If a
CVS.
Muslim guy walks with a bag into the train station, puts the bag down, looks shifty-eyed and runs away, you're a racist for reporting that.
See something, say something.
No, you can't do that. You'll be racist.
Exactly. So they have to stop that. They have to suspend the campaign is my point, because that only makes sense if we have a shared commonality of what we have observed is out of the norm.
The only thing you can do
is a Muslim guy with a 6-year-old girl.
The only thing you can do in a multicultural society is have an authoritarian boot government. Then you have to enforce to the lowest common denominator. If something would be offensive to a large portion of the population in a multicultural society, they will come and put the boot on your neck for doing it. Everyone's going to get to wear a nice gray jumpsuit so that no one offends each other. That's it. You will own nothing and you will be happy, or else.
Yeah.
Or else.
Yep.
Yeah, look what happened to Eastern Europe. That's the other thing, too, is like, people who are older, over 40, like watched what went down in Eastern Europe. Ceausescu, in Romania. Wasn't he Romania? He was Romania. What happened with the Velvet Revolution in 93 in the Czech Republic. So we watched all of this happen, and we heard the stories coming out about like the oppression, the inability to even go to church. There were all of these nuns who were giving communion because there weren't any priests around because priests had been killed or shipped out. So you get to look at what that oppression is like, and none of these people who are living in their daddy's houses know what that looks like. They have no idea what that is, and they don't read. Also, they can't read, so it's not like they're going out there and seeking out Václav Havel plays to check out. Everyone should go read Václav Havel.
Which explains why we were talking earlier about education and why the kids in calculus are doing remedial math. It helps if no one can read and write, and it's dumb.
Yeah, but
dumb
the thing,
people
too,
are
is that
very
it's
easy
not
to
just
control.
the education, it's the curiosity.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't read, nobody taught me Havel in school. Nobody was like teaching me Kafka or whatever in school, but like I was curious. And if you're curious, you go find things. Charlie Kirk didn't go to college. He was curious and one of the most well-educated people. Tim also, like, super intelligent, obviously, well-educated,
That's nice.
didn't go to college,
Dumb
like,
as a box of rocks. what can I
well,
say?
whatever. But you don't, like, if you're curious, you go seek things out. You go investigate ideas. You want to know what's happening. And that curiosity is something that we have lost, I think, an awful lot of.
There's a lot of life lessons in all extraneous activities that I think one of the most important things someone could do is a hobby. And I don't like using the word hobby. I like extraneous activities because sometimes it's not a
I don't
hobby.
like calling it a hobby either. Like,
I don't like calling it a
to
hobby.
do my
But like
stuff,
fishing,
but
fishing teaches you a lot about life, about how you can wait forever and get nothing, about how sometimes someone just gets the right spot. It's just, there's a lot of lessons in all different things that for some reason people don't get through the direct route. So I recommend having your kids do as many hobbies. That's probably the way to, but activities, you know what I mean? Music exercises both sides of your brain and teaches you dexterity depending on what you're doing. It allows you to actually, it improves your hearing, your interpretation of sound. So people who grew up with music can isolate sounds in their mind better. There's, playing sports, playing football is going to teach you about strategy, stopping, pausing, thinking about what players are going to do. And I think, just to what we're talking about, we have too many people, even going back to the socialists who were raised with snowplow parents, given everything they wanted. Kids just grow up doing nothing. They are, for lack of a better term, blank slates. And then they're adults. You know what? I'll describe it like this. If you've ever played a good online RPG, and, let's go with, what's a good game I can reference? I'm not going to think of one. But there are a lot of RPGs that start your character, it has no class. Like, it's just neutral, right? And then as you level up, you can choose a specialization. And then it's like, are you sure you want to choose this class? You will play the rest of the game as this character. So it's like you start as a squire, and then you can choose to be like a swordsman, a ninja, a mage, or whatever. Well, probably not a mage, but the way I view socialists is that they've never actually done anything to gain experience in life. So they're just permanent children. They are a permanent starter class with no experience, no knowledge, and no understanding, and they're trying to run a system they have no business running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I mean, putting kids in any kind of like team sport, it builds social skills, teaching them any kind of instrument. I mean, I have my personal preferences, but I think you should start with piano because that's the easiest way to learn music theory. It's all laid out right in front of you. I started with guitar, and once I started playing a little bit of piano, I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense.
Yeah, same.
Also, forced volunteering.
Really?
Yeah, making your kids volunteer.
Well, then that's not a volunteer. It's not really.
You're volunteering the kid, but then the kid is like, but I think that's important. I think making your kids volunteer is a very worthwhile thing.
The fishing example,
especially as kids don't get jobs like they used to.
The fishing example I like because I think we are in a very noisy and loud society, and that is new in the last 40, 50 years. I mean, it's really, I guess it's if we've been on the earth, how many years? 10,000, 7,000? I know it's debatable, but I mean the
religious or secular,
the constant cacophony. We are surrounded by sounds all the time. We're still wired very differently. And the fishing example I like is that it's something I've even noticed. I have a lot of people who come to our farm to hunt. I don't hunt. I have nothing against it, obviously, but I just don't. I'm always amazed at how on the very simplest level, they seem to be very profound people because they sit in the tree blind waiting for deer for 8 hours in total silence. And they are thinking. They're thinking lofty thoughts. You can't play on your phone. You can't listen to music. You have to be in silence. And I find them to be very profound people, even if they're not super educated, because they are left in silence. And that's very healthy for people.
You've never had the desire to turn a groundhog into pink mist with a 17 Super Mag?
Well, I mean, I have put down many animals, but I don't have the interest or the time to sit in a tree stand for 8 hours waiting.
That was the gun store pitch to me when I was I bought a 17 bolt action, and I was like, so what's this one good for? Like, so I got 1,000,001 guns, and they're like, this one is probably going to be better for home defense, blah blah blah, frangible rounds, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, what about this one? And they're like, that's for turning groundhogs into pink mist. And I was like, oh.
I got dogs that do that just as easily. But we
that's also fun to watch.
We do need to have. We
like the groundhogs as long as they're not near houses. That's the thing.
I can't stand groundhogs, especially if you have animals or horses, because they're
problematic.
Yeah. Oof. You lose a lot of animals when they step in a groundhog hole. Yep. They're running. They're just running.
And they destroy foundations.
You call them for grain, and the sheep come running, and they don't know. I fall.
They break their legs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Groundhogs are not our friends. Mm-hmm. But the silence is our friend. Silence is important. And
silence.
Silence. That's why I like the fishing example. Take your kids to fish, because if they have to stand there in the cold and in the silence, and that is good to learn as an adult.
And if you don't get a fish, you don't eat.
People who don't
seriously though, important lessons. And when your kid's like, I'm hungry, be like, I'm sorry, we didn't get any fish. Yeah. Sometimes this happens.
People who can't be comfortable in their own silence are never going to find peace, and people who are not peaceful are dangerous. I think silence is very important. And people, we're bad at it more and more. Look at your average kid just bombarded. Do you ever see a kid in a restaurant with his mom and dad and he's got his headphones in?
Oh, yeah.
Or the parents hand him a tablet while they talk and eat dinner, and the kid's just sitting there swiping.
You're an adult and you're sitting there at the table, or you watch a TV show and there's the sitcom family and the 17-year-old is sitting at the counter with smack that kid in the head. Take those damn
Smack the parents.
The parents. Too much noise.
My kid's 10 months old, and he's never had an iPad or iPhone in his hand. We don't put TV shows on for him. Like if he's watching TV or if he's looking at the TV, it's because I'm watching something. So it's, generally like YouTube or podcast or whatever. You should be able to, at least for kids, they should be left to entertain themselves some. They'll learn how to entertain themselves. Like the kid's 10 months old, so he's like everything's new to him. It's not like I have to do something to entertain him. Like just let him. He's got some toys. We got a handful of toys around, and he's constantly messing around with blocks or whatever.
Figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
Your RPG example of that woman who was the DSA co-chair when she was on the podcast, and we're going to text the hell out of millionaires.
With the glasses lady?
And they were like, what does that actually mean? And she laughed. She was like, I don't know what it means. That's what that is. Like she's a level 0, but she wants to be a level.
It's a cult.
Exactly. So she thinks she should have all this power. And it's like, but you're a level 0 lady. Like you don't understand. Like this is a slogan. We're going to text the hell out of millionaires. What is, and he finally did say, like, don't you think you should know? You're the DSA co-chair. I mean, that's not even a hard question, and she didn't have an answer.
Well, it's a swarm of wasps. There's no rhyme or reason. They're just angry, and it's very feminine. But it is. It's like when you look at the Lindsay Clancy trial, you ask yourself, why are these women posting these videos where they're holding their babies crying, and it says "same, comma Lindsay"? Like, are you implying you want to murder your kid right now?
So insane.
Look,
it's because it is just. It is, you ever see that comic where the guy's like, I'm angry, and the dude goes, here's a solution. He goes, I don't want a solution, I want to be angry.
Yeah.
That's the left.
Yeah,
you didn't see a lot of guys saying "same, Chris Benoit, same."
Who's Chris Benoit?
He killed
There's always
his
time
wife
to
and
change
kids.
that.
like
I
Chris
guess. I mean, 20 years later, but
He was a wrestler that had a bunch of TBIs, and he killed his wife and kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad. That happened the other day at a Michigan daycare. Guy killed his wife and kid. But this Lindsay Clancy thing with the women who are like, I feel you, like it's hard, it sucks being a mom or whatever. Like I find it so crazy and insane that they could actually think this, because I feel like what happens to a lot of these women is they have a child and their life doesn't match their expectations, but their expectations were stupid and wrong. And so instead of adjusting their expectations, they're like upset with reality. And it's like, no, adjust what your expectations are. Like I remember distinctly after my son was born, and there was a time when like all the visitors left, and my mom left and his dad left and whatever, and the nurses weren't there, and it was just me and this kid. And I was like, okay then. Yeah. This is a huge responsibility. I was a little freaked out, not because I was a young mother. I was an old mother, and I was involved in my life. Like I had, I liked my doing whatever I wanted. But I was like, okay, kid, here we are. Like, I got this. It's going to be fine. You have to look at the responsibility, embrace it, choose it, and be grateful for it, because that's what, like, you should be very grateful for it.
That is an incredibly mature and rare way to
It should
look.
not be rare. That should be normal.
It does not matter whether it should be or not.
That should be the normal view.
That is
to be
not.
grateful
That is
for that responsibility.
That is absolutely abnormal. People.
That's so disturbing.
People broadly, and I think that I might catch some flack for this, but women in particular do not like to be accountable for their own decisions. Now, I said people broadly, because it's not exclusive to women, but I think generally it happens to women more, where they don't want to be held.
I think it does happen to women more.
Where they don't want to be held accountable.
They're not held accountable a lot of times by their families, and then they're told
the world.
Oh, it's not even your fault. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, you were wearing a thong in public, but nobody should have called out to you or hollered at you or
said
whatever.
The word mature. The DSM. I think it was the DSM.
And then they expect that from their spouses as well. They don't anticipate having to have any
and
responsibility.
then they expect that from the court of law when they murder
apparently
their 3
so.
kids.
Accountability is
insane.
kryptonite to people, and specifically women.
And there's some of the reason we have that is it's such a horrific crime that it's much more comfortable to think that somebody just didn't think this through, that they had an hour of silence and decided to do one of the worst crimes you could ever think of.
Yeah.
And it's much more comforting for society to believe that the drugs or the psychosis and her mental health we're all responsible for this, that a normal person couldn't be responsible for this.
But I think that's a much worse scenario. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it's worse. You would say it's worse that it's all the drugs and the mental health.
That's a worse thing to think.
But people think it's more comforting because they don't want to think that somebody could just do that, especially when they look at Lindsay Clancy. She looks like a normal woman. Obviously, she's not. And we have a different impression of it. Now, if she looked like I don't know what a serial
Kathy
killer
Bates
woman
in
would
Mystery,
look.
maybe?
Yeah, she would. I think people would see like, oh yeah, she definitely did it. She's like, why? I mean, she doesn't look like totally normal, but she's doing a good job of portraying this troubled, fairly attractive woman who it's not her fault and she's in the wheelchair and portraying a victim. But if it looked like Kathy Bates or something even more terrifying,
Rosie O'Donnell,
have it.
Right.
And it's like even the same. If like say if a guy did this, there would be zero sympathy for him.
No.
So it's a part of it that we're trying to cope with something so horrific, but it's also the part, as you both have been saying, is that a lot of women don't want to have the accountability. They want the power without the agency or the
Yeah,
responsibility.
because then they demand that they, get the jobs or whatever.
And they've
And
got
then
the job.
society,
Or
then
the- yeah.
society acquiesces.
You
Which
said
is pretty weird. But
your example.
I think it's much for me. It would be much more comforting to think, okay, we all have to watch out because a monster could lurk in any of us. Any of us could be capable. This is one thing you read about, like the Nazi guards or whatever. These were just like normal guys doing the most horrific things possible. Like, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Don't know what humanity is capable of. And don't succumb to these worst impulses. And that way you can be in control of yourself and not be like, oh, if I take the wrong drug, I might kill my whole family. Like avoid that.
You said your example was very impressive, and it says a lot about you. But the DSM used to define maturity as the radical embrace of reality. And I always loved that definition, the radical embrace of reality. And we call people, oh, she's so mature. Why is she mature? Because she has a house and a job? Like, that's just adult. But we know a lot of adults who are not mature. And you said, like, this is my reality now. Mom has left, the balloons have fallen, the flowers are dead, and I'm here with a kid. And this is now my reality. And I think we have a very immature society, mostly because of social media, right? But
I think it was there before.
I think it was there before. I think this probably exacerbates it because we have these expectations of what house flipping is. Because you look at the house flippers on TV and you're like, I'm going to be a house flipper. You look at the sourdough baker you follow, and then you make sourdough and your hands are sticky and it tastes like crap.
Rocks,
and you're like,
right.
yeah. And you're like, this is awful. The radical embrace of reality. And we don't often want to embrace reality. We've always struggled with it as a humanity, of course, but I think the external media we have that distract us all the time make that radical embrace. Going back to silence. You have to sit there in your silence and realize this is your life. And it could be the person you're married, the house that you bought, the job that you have. It's not fantastic, but if you can radically embrace your reality, you can find maturity and you can find peace.
I do not believe for one moment that silence is going to make women more accountable.
I think
Silence might have been the cause of Lindsay Clancy's madness. So she might have needed like some headphones and some, like a new cartoon to watch. Or
She
something.
had a whole like
look at who
exercise thing
initiates
that
all
she
of the
signed up for.
look at who initiates the
she got
most
the
of divorces
bands.
nowadays, right?
But I
Most of the divorces are initiated by women. And the most common reason is just dissatisfaction. They had some idea in their head of what marriage was going to be like,
Radical
and it
embrace
didn't
of reality.
turn out to be the thing that they wanted, and so they file for divorce.
Yeah, it's through social media because that becomes the new town center where they have to hear, and then they get their new examples, and they're like, and it's similar with the Lindsay Clancy thing. She would not have anywhere near the level of sympathy if we did not have TikTok and all these women just like getting massive engagement off this.
It's
stuff.
mass formation psychosis. Women are more susceptible to it. And what happens is a prominent woman says, obey, and all women go, yes. Then they all ripple out, spam blast this psychotic nonsense, and they all just march like lemmings off a cliff. What are they doing? Throwing steaks out the window now?
I don't.
Throwing
really
ice into the bathroom or into the shower. They're throwing ice into the shower to vent their anger.
Why?
Because they're crazy.
Oh.
But that's one of the trends that you're seeing a lot on, I guess, on TikTok.
Sorry, if I saw my sister.
This is why we had the Salem witch trials.
If I saw my sister holding her baby with a hashtag like Me Too or whatever it is, like I'm with
You
you.
go get the baby.
I would go get the baby.
You know
I feel like
what?
I'd call protective services and be like, "We have a problem on our
Yeah,
hands."
I
I mean,
be
they're
like,
expressing the intent to murder their children. No
Yes.
question.
Right. It
It's,
makes
it's the
absolutely
exact
no
same
sense.
as seeing a
Madness.
giant pit bull leering over a baby. It's the exact same warning. It's like there's a major threat. It's like imagine that poor kid who's got a pit bull for a family pet and a Lindsay Clancy super fan as a mom. That kid, we need to rescue that
Oh,
kid.
no.
Yeah.
And it's a rescue pit.
And if you were the husband, you would take the kid and run and be like, "Until I figure
To
out
be-
what's
to
going
be
on
fair-
with you, my lovely wife, I'm not leaving you at home
If
with
you're
the baby."
to the husband here, he knowing his wife is on drugs and going to pick up her drugs, leaving her with the kids.
No, he was picking up something because one of the kids was constipated.
But he knows his wife
yeah,
is
he
on
knows
drugs
that, yeah.
because her brain don't work.
And his office was in the home apparently. He like worked from home for Microsoft, I think.
Didn't he raise $1 million after his kids were murdered, and now the wife has raised $1 million for her
She's raised,
family?
like,
The wife's
800,000.
The mom- the parents have?
The parents have raised like.
But I thought
think
he
it's
raised money, too.
900,000. I don't know if he did.
What does the
But
wife
he's
want the
married
money
to a
for?
lookalike.
Well,
It's the family. It's her parents.
Buy more
Her
kids.
parents have decided to finally step up now that their daughter is on trial, as opposed to before when they could have saved the lives of their grandchildren.
So what do they need the money for?
They've, according to the GoFundMe or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
They need the money because they've given up work and they're like rushing in and trying to take care of their daughter and they're being there for her every day.
The husband, Patrick Clancy, raised $1 million in 2023.
That's disgusting.
Like for what?
Whoa,
Yeah.
wait.
Like at the point
Wait,
when your
wait.
family's
The
dead, what are you raising it for?
Because his family was killed.
Right. So what do you need?
Like
$1 million
I got no problem with it.
Okay. I
If
don't
your
know what
kids
you
are
need it
murdered and you're like, I need money for their funerals, and then people give you $1 million
for.
bucks,
Okay. Yeah, for
like okay,
funerals, perhaps.
funerals or just like time to grieve, like my mind is broken, I'm struggling to work, and people are like, I'll donate to that. If this guy was like an ultra rich dude, sure, you don't need to raise money. But if he's like a regular guy, he's got a regular job, and he's like, I'm struggling right now, that's fine. Raising money for the lady who killed him, though, that's crazy.
Well, it's the parents are raising the money for themselves.
Sure.
That's what they say.
And that's supposed to be against GoFundMe's rules, but it's circuitous.
Is it gonna
you
be like-
can't raise money for a criminal, but the parents are raising it for themselves because they moved to be with their daughter. And you see the image they have where all the women are linking arms surrounding her as she cries.
yeah.
These
Yeah,
people
video,
are
yeah.
demons. Demons.
Is it going to be like Carmelo Anthony's
do-
GoFundMe
It
where
is
they
Do
like-
you guys know about the dancing
It is
plague?
like a Carmelo.
Do y'all know about the dancing
the
plague?
dancing plague?
sickness?
The
Yeah.
dancing plague.
dance?
Oh wait, actually, yeah, I think
I thought
dancing-
they called it the dancing sickness.
Let's pull it up.
And it was like it's happened.
The dancing
a couple
plague of
times.
1518.
Hasn't it
I
happened
have heard
before?
about
Like,
this.
hasn't it happened a couple times, or is that the laughing sickness?
So apparently what happened, somewhere between 50 and 400 people took to dancing for weeks. And like apparently they were becoming dehydrated and would just flop and die. After like they just would dance until they'd die.
Why?
And some people think they were poisoned. I think this is just what sometimes people do, and it tends to be women.
I think people freak out. Yeah.
Where did this happen?
Whatever the
Strasbourg.
15th, 18 equivalent to the Macarena must have come out, and they couldn't stop. I don't know what they would have been listening to in the 16th century.
Some people think it was ergot poisoning.
Don't they think that ergot poisoning also had something to do with the start of the French Revolution? People have said that moldy bread.
That'd be funny.
Have those?
Yeah, there's always those.
Listen. If you're arguing to me that communism only arises through hallucinogenic compounds, I'd be like, well,
we got a lot of SSRIs.
their brains don't work properly.
With these antipsychotics is why are the side effects always psychosis?
I think it's funny when I'm watching a commercial and it's like, if you're suffering depression, then, Flubadon is right for you. And then it's like side effects may include suicidality, suicidal thoughts,
Killing your whole family.
killing your family, take your own life. If you have thoughts of violence and self-harm, please call a doctor.
Rage.
And I'm like,
Explosive diarrhea,
Clancy.
anal bleeding.
That should just be the new side effect. It's like
Also,
you might
instant
become the
sudden
next
death.
Lindsay Clancy if you take this drug, but still take it anyway. It's like some guy happy now. He's like happy on a bus or whatever. That's always like
oh, that's a really
antidepressive ad.
No,
It's like
that's-
the guy's like sad on the bus, and now he's happy on the bus. It's like it's the first
And he's,
guy
like,
ever to
blue,
be happy
and
on
then
a public
suddenly-
bus in America.
It's a great idea
know?
for a bit where it's like a guy's depressed and it's like, are you feeling sad? Take Flubadon today and you'll feel better. and then it's like side effects may include, murderous intent, suicidal thoughts. And then it's like him on the bus sad. But then after he takes it, the next scene, like everything brightens up and he's smiling. And then he's holding a bloody knife and everyone on the bus is dead. And he's like, but I feel great.
It would have to be called Flubadon.
I always love the
the
male sex drug commercials where the side effects are like for the sex drug to get
Leaky
your
ass.
things working. Yeah, it's like nausea, diarrhea. It's like because I'm always in the mood when I'm nauseous and diarrhea, right? Like nothing makes me want to hey, it's rock hard, folks, but I have explosive diarrhea, so let's go. Always cracks me up the side effects.
This is why your kids need to learn to love silence, so they are not taking these drugs.
So
They can
I just
enjoy a bus ride, man. I don't know how. No, some bus rides are not quiet whatsoever. But
I hate the bus. I do think there's an overprescription of people on these SSRIs, whether it's kids in foster care who get a lot of these drugs, or whether it's middle-aged white women who get the rest of them. I think it's really a lot, and I'm always surprised when people just start taking them. They're like, "Oh, my doctor said I should take this." It's like, so why? Like, maybe you should just get a new doctor because that sounds crazy.
There's a bunch of drugs. I just looked it up. I'm not gonna name them just because we don't need to. But they're for things like gout and stuff that cause anal leakage. And so they have these commercials because I've seen these commercials before on like Fox, and it's like a guy, he's sick or whatever, and it's like take this drug. And at the very end, it's like listing all the side effects, and I'm like, the side effects are worse than the ailment.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like anal leakage is probably one of the worst things. I want a drug for that. Like if I'm in public
There's one,
and my
I'm
knee
sure.
hurts, I'm fine. But if my butt is leaking in public, we got a problem.
If you have a headache drug that causes anal leakage, the anal leakage drug just has that side effect of headache. So you just keep going in this
You'd rather have a
circle around and
headache,
around.
though.
My favorite is also when they're like, if you're allergic to Duproxic, don't take Duproxic. I'm like, well, that's very good advice.
Good advice.
How about ask your doctor if Duproxic is right for you?
That's what I can't stand about drug commercials because it's like,
You don't even know what they're for.
yeah, I'm like watching Fox, and Fox does it a lot because it's old people. And it'll just be like, you'll see, like a giraffe run in, and then the kids start laughing. And then it'll be like, many people think that Flubadon is good for them. Ask your doctor today about Flubadon. And I'm like, no, I have no reason to call my doctor.
Now, the most awkward
I don't even
ones
have a
are,
doctor.
the most awkward ones when you see on cable news, it's like the prep ads. Yeah, and then what they're doing in prep, you're like, wait a minute, this guy's a little fruity. Why is he like taking dance classes with only men? And then it's like prep, and then it's like, what is prep for?
That's what it's for.
And then you're like, oh, wait a minute.
It's like
I
to
do
stop
love those
HIV
commercials where it's
before you
like,
get it or
if you're
whatever.
worried about gay sex giving you AIDS, buy this drug. And I'm kind of like, wow.
Or just,
That's TV.
like, don't bang every single person in your class, right? That's
we
the
already
best way
learned-
to not get it.
We already learned, though, that banging every single person in your class is part of gay culture, and we can't be prejudiced against it.
Yeah.
Remember, we learned that during the
that's sex ed, too.
monkeypox
That's true.
issue.
Monkeypox, too.
Remember that? They were like, you can't say that it's a disease that mostly affects gay men, even though it's transmitted during anal sex.
Exactly.
Even though it
Otherwise
mostly
it's-
affects gay men.
Yeah. The Maha was supposed to eliminate a lot of the drug ads. There was even like executive orders. It hasn't happened yet. I'm hoping the administration still kicks into it. There's always been this conspiracy, which I totally believe, that the reason why the drug companies are the #1 purchasers of TV ad time is so that those same networks that have news divisions don't investigate drug companies. Right? Why they push COVID vaccine, because when this company is buying 40, 50, 60 million dollars a month in ads, surprisingly, that story will get killed in the newsroom because it's your #1. And I definitely believe that. Like, it's the only product that we advertise this much that I can't purchase. It's always ask your doctor if Flubadon is right for you. And you're like, why do they keep making this commercial? It's like, it's not even for the doctor. It's not even for you. It's not even for Flubadon. It's so that the investigative, so Barry Weiss is stopped from running this ad because it's like, hey, listen, Barry, we love you, but they buy $70 million a month, a quarter in ads.
I don't even think it's
and we're not
it's
doing this.
spoken. I think it would just be like, now we're not going to
We're not
run
going to investigate this.
something against Pfizer.
Yeah, and
We're not going to investigate Pfizer. Look what happened to James O'Keefe when he did investigate Pfizer. It turned into a whole disaster. He lost Project Veritas.
Yeah, and just they promised, the administration promised we were going to get rid of the perpetual TV drug commercials, and it hasn't.
I was
happened
excited
yet.
about that too.
I know, and I hope they go back to it. Robert Kennedy, if you're watching Timcast, we know you are, Bobby. That would be fantastic.
Maybe they
Glue it
thought
with
it
the
was
kraut
no big
and just
deal
get rid of
because
the drug
fact that
ads.
nobody watches TV news anymore.
That could be.
We watch clips, but that's going to come to an end now that Twitter is changing their whole rules.
Yeah, but watching clips, you're not watching the commercials.
I want to make a drug
Twitter
called
is trying to
Flubinon.
make the platform TikTok. That's the new creator program. That's the plan.
I want to get a drug called. We should start a company called Flubinon and sponsor the show and make Tim read our ad. We got a new sponsor for this episode. It's Flubinon.
May
If
make you kill
have
your
anal
entire
leakage.
Oh wow!
If you have gay sex and
hold
anal
on.
leakage and a
Wait,
monkey,
hold on.
Flubinon.
Is there a
There's a drug called Flubasan.
Oh,
It's a high-potency topical corticosteroid emulsion containing dexoximethasone.
I love
It's a
dexoximethasone.
European for inflammatory conditions like eczema.
European
and psoriasis.
dexoximethasone. The Europeans are the best at dexoximethasone.
It is not sold in the United States.
Okay.
Huh. Well, look at that. You know, I
That
almost
means
accidentally made up a real one.
we could
Exactly.
market it
Not in
in the United
America.
States.
New sponsor today, Flubinon, brought to you by Scott Greer and Daniel Turner. And let me read you the side effects.
when you
We have to
search
make the
for,
side
uh,
effects
And
like
it's
pages.
a drug. It's a drug to stop anal leakage, but it might make you kill your whole
When
family.
you search for it, it says it's a typo, but there is a drug called Fludon.
Fludon.
Yeah,
Is
a
it
brand
for the
name
flu?
for fluconazole, oral antifungal medication for yeast infections. Flubond.
Flubon.
It's an alternative brand for Fludon. For anxiety and depression. Huh. Fluridone, an aquatic herbicide. Fludioxonil, a synthetic fungicide. Flubendazole, anti-parasitic. Look at that. There you go. Flubadon.
Who could be
I was just speaking
anti-parasitic
gibberish.
these days, yeah.
You thought you were speaking gibberish,
Real drunk.
but turns out you were predicting the name of
But
multiple
predicting the
drugs.
name of future advertisers, this is good. This is
Yeah.
good business.
Multiple drugs.
Yeah, I should just make up my own products to advertise. We'll just make something up. We'll just like do an ad and be like, today's show is sponsored by, and then we'll just be like,
Buy the URL for $3 and see how many
Yeah.
people click on it.
Grimble Zone.
Grimble Zone.
Yeah.
Grim.
Yeah, actually, we should do that. We should do ads for like nonsensical abstractions. You know, like, you know, we're sponsored by a company that provides thoughts, and then like you go to the website and it's just something weird.
Need
We'll see how many
something
people
to
go there.
think. There you go.
Yeah, sponsor ourselves.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know that I could come up with any really great names for fake drugs.
They don't either. They just roll all the
Labontazole.
dice. and they just connect them.
Dripladone.
Google it, Labontazole. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's like how they come up with car names. Do you guys remember that Jerry Seinfeld bit? It was like the Impreza.
Yeah.
It's like sort of impressive, but za at the end instead. You know?
Reza Sport.
Yeah, the Impreza.
I put in Labontazole, it comes up albendazole.
Oh,
Like as if I transposed
I went
the.
to college with an albendazole.
Did you?
it sounds like a
It's a-
sounds like a
It does
Persian
sound
name.
like a name.
Yeah.
It's a anti-parasitic.
Albendazole.
It's an anti-parasitic medication to use to treat various intestinal and tissue worm infections. Very good.
Well, he bends, so he has intestinal albendazole. He bends for all albendazole. So
that's
What's the theory of people's names make their jobs? What is that called?
Well, that's a
Oh.
thing. Like Cooper, you know, you make
No.
barrels.
But there are people like there'll be people who have like a name. There's like a lawyer named just in case.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you know, things like that.
Or Bob blah blah.
Well, I mean, that was a joke. Bob blah blah's
good.
law blog.
So good.
blah,
great
blah, blah, lobs, law bomb. That was the best. That was the headline of the newspaper.
Oh yeah, Lob's bomb. Bob blah blah.
Don't speak
Lob's
nonsense
bomb.
with blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah blah.
I can quote that show nonstop. It was one of my favorite
Man.
shows.
Such a good
We used to have great comedy. What happened?
Yeah.
What do we have now? Is there any
Oh,
good
it's
comedy?
nominative determinism.
There-
Oh, there you go.
Nominative, yeah.
Nominative determinism.
There was sort of Ted Lasso people like that. I watched a couple episodes. I thought it was boring.
Yeah, me
I
too.
didn't like it.
It's boring.
My name means God, who the one who judges on behalf of God, Daniel, and I think it's accurate because I am a very judgmental person. So I feel like I am definitely a Daniel.
Proud of that?
Oh, it's
Yes, yeah, because I believe I have truth on my side as a good man of faith, and so I have no problem
And,
judging those who deserve to be
there you
judged.
And a turner is a lathe worker.
Yes,
it's nominative determinism.
Yeah, as he just said.
all the ERs are Turner, Fisher, Miller. We were all just peasants, which we just got names after what we did. So In theory, I should buy a lathe and see if I can make anything, but I don't need another. I could use another hobby, actually. Maybe I can work with a lathe, but
Probably
I
you
don't
should
think I
try
have
fishing.
nominate determinism. I'm barely even Scottish. I certainly don't live in Scotland.
Greer
Definitely
sounds
not
like
in
a kind of an elegant name. It doesn't
It's
sound
Scottish. It's derived from Gregor. And
Oh, that makes sense.
Gregor's, I think, key, something to deal with keys. But I'm mistaken. The audience is probably like, this guy is a moron for not knowing what Gregor is derived from. But yeah, that's.
I've
So
looked-
I don't even know.
They just default to this guy's a
if
moron.
it
It
is
doesn't
something,
matter.
I'd have to look up if it is something to do with keys. I am keyed, and I have popularized that term. So maybe that, and I offer the keys of wisdom in my book White Pill. Online right in the making of
available right now on
Hold on.
Amazon.
Donald Trump is nominative determinism.
True, Trump.
Donald means world ruler, and Trump means the herald sound. So Donald Trump's name,
That's pretty good.
So let's take a look at this. Does anybody else who's running for 28 have a name that represents that job?
Rubio is red. What does Mark mean? I have to go back to the Hebrew. Mark means something, but I can't remember.
That means consecrated or warlike. Really?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What? His name is red like Mars. I'm not kidding.
That's awesome.
That's a good name.
That's pretty.
Mark is a reference to the Roman god of war Mars, and Rubio is red. His name is the red. His name is literally red. The red Mars.
The red god.
Mars the red.
That's pretty.
Do we? This is not real life.
That's
we live in a simulation.
That's actually pretty.
That's
The
someone you'd
red
be
god
afraid
of
of.
war.
That sounds like a president.
That sounds like
Yeah.
something you should be intimidated by.
What?
Is he tall enough, though?
And yet he eats
What about
Pop-Tarts.
Gavin Newsom? What is his name?
The Latin root of Marcus is Mars, the god of war, also meaning hammer and warlike.
Well, AOC is a defender of humankind, polite, courteous,
And
occasion.
Rubio means red-haired.
Get barreled over by the red god of war.
Red god of war.
Exactly.
The red-haired red guy.
Rubio could mean golden or red-haired.
I think we should go with red. I like it.
His name is Warmonger.
The surname Newsom, and it's very.
What's J.D. Vance's real name?
John Daniel?
I
feel like it should be
the
John
last
Daniel.
name is like, what was his first last?
James Bowman.
Yeah, Bowman. That's right.
Why did he change it to Vance?
Wasn't it his
his
grandfather's
grandparents,
or something? Yeah, something like that.
He had 3 different names growing up.
Sounds cooler than Bowman.
Can't trust him.
Vance is better than.
It literally just means soldier with a bow.
That's
okay.
pretty good. I
Vance
like it
means
to-
dweller of the marshland.
That's soldier
That's a
with
good name to
bow.
live in D.C.
Yeah,
Swamp monster.
Swamp
Also and a guy from Appalachia as well. Like, it's kind of marshy. It's not really marshy, but it's
Appalachian Mountains.
desolate.
It's mountains.
It's
It's old.
It's old. Yeah. And
That's the
mystical
thing about the
and
Appalachian
mysterious.
Mountains that I'm always just struck by how ancient these mountains are.
Super, super, super ancient.
Like older than Pangea.
Yeah, like
Selena Zito talks
They're
about
so-
that all the time. She always talks about how old Appalachia is.
they're
It's
so
so
old that
crazy.
they're older than the Atlantic Ocean,
That's
and
right.
the Scottish Highlands are actually part of Appalachia.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's why we have the
Lends
same
all this
monsters.
credibility to the monsters in the woods. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait. His name is James Donald Bowman, but then after his stepfather adopted him when he was a kid, they changed his name to James David Hamill.
Yeah.
That's
And
weird.
now his name is James David Vance. They took his middle name from him?
I had a friend whose mom did that.
I think
Like her brother's name was one name, like born with one name. And then she divorced that guy, married somebody else, changed his name to match the new guy's name. And then when she split up with him, she tried to change his name again. But by then the kid was like, but that's confusing.
Yeah, I don't know
I
who
already
I am.
changed my name. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah.
Ocasio-Cortez means an opportunity for politeness.
But her first name is Defender of Humankind, Alexandria.
Alexandria. So the defender of humankind's opportunity for politeness. Ocasio means opportunity or occasion.
Which kind of makes sense given how much she wants to have America subsumed by international law.
and
et cetera.
Cortez means refined, courteous, and polite.
Ilhan Omar means bringer of death, which is.
Well, that's actually
You looked
find
that
out.
up, or is it
it's-
real?
I'm just throwing it out there. Marrier of brother.
Let's see. It means
Fraudulent or of a
in
visa
Somali
who's
culture, the name
fraudulent
Omar
or-
is of Arabic origin that means one who sleeps with brother.
Wow.
No, it means flourishing.
Fake refugee.
Flourishing.
What it really means.
Inconsistent tax returns.
And Ilhan means bringer of good news.
Ooh,
That's not.
that doesn't surprise me, although it's not true. But
A long-lived bringer of
good
good
news for Somali immigrants.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, she says that Somalia is her #1 constituency. So
All right, we got to do it. The surname Pool. The meaning means a person who lived near a small body of water. Not a joke. Literally, that's what it means. A person who lived near a small body of seriously.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
well, now we have the rivers. The rivers are out here.
And Timothy means honored by God. So
Yes.
my name is honored by God and living by a small body of water.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's nice.
It's like a
Is there a
little,
body of water nearby
I
here?
think
little
we've
baptism.
proven nominative determinism on this podcast.
right?
I don't think these names are quite fitting.
Nominative determinism does not mean every single person has a job befitting their name. Just means that sometimes it's funny when it happens, and we have created a name for it. You know.
I like that.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what Labonte means. I haven't looked in.
Libby means can of vegetables.
No way.
Labonte, the surname Labonte comes from the French and translates to one who screams with vigor. That's not what it says. It just says the goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes from the word bonte,
think-
la bonte.
I think Philip is like a lover of horses. Yeah. Friend of
Lover
horses.
of horses. Yes.
Not in.
Philip means lover of horses.
Friend of horses also, not in the.
Oh my God, bro.
The Equus
Not in
way,
the other way
just
of
in
being
the.
It's literally the root of philos.
Really?
Yeah, and hippos. Philos and hippos, meaning friend or love of horses.
Do you
I like-
ride?
That's good.
I have, but I don't generally.
I feel
You
like you
obviously
got to
should
get a
take
horse
it
for
up
the New
now.
Hampshire compound.
I
and
do.
See if you
And your full name is Libertha, right?
Yes, of course. Libertha. That's of course what it is. Yeah.
hopefully, in this-
God is my oath.
yeah.
hopefully in super chat, some people have some really good ones that they can share with us.
I've always
like
liked
my
my
name
name.
is X, and this is
How do
what
you
I
spell
do.
Emmons?
Emmons.
know. If we can find
I
like
know what that means.
Emmons means son of Emma.
Yeah, well, there's no Emmas. There's no Emmas in our family.
There you go.
I don't even know where it came from. It's like an old Yankee name. We had it a long time.
Greer means vigilant.
That's nice. I like that.
What do you know? Always paying attention.
You know, see, I take
Good
issue with
laugh.
like names, and Scott means it means a Scotsman.
Yeah, that's the most obvious first name. Yeah, what it means, but
because you're aware of the battle that they're
vigilant
coming
yeah, that's right.
Scotsman.
It's not key for some reason. I thought because it's derived from Gregor, so that means vigilant, not keyed. But I prefer the keyed as the impression of it.
But I mean, you're a vigilant Scotsman because you know they're always trying to invade, and that's what you're doing with your book right
That's
now.
right.
Like, this is coming
okay.
after us.
And promoting
The
my
name
book.
Carter means one who transports goods by cart.
Yep, that's
like-
me.
Same with ER names.
Daniel's got this crazy name.
Turner is just one who works with the
That's
lady.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All ER names in English: Turner, Miller, Fisher.
And Banks means
Baker.
edge of the river.
Like transport goods by.
Someone who lived near a slope.
Yeah, you were the Carter.
Yeah.
The guy who transported goods near a body of water.
It is interesting that so many of the names in English have to do with the kind of work that you do. I mean, that's just like
Well, the
you
origin.
end
how
up
a
with
lot of
those
them
names.
originate.
Exactly,
It's
but that's I think
But all
that's
names
interesting
are.
because
This is my issue.
We have a lot-
names
you know.
used to have meanings.
Right.
When we named someone something, we were literally saying like when they named somebody Donald, they weren't like, "Hey, I heard this word. It sounds good. That's a good name." They were literally being like, "I'd like to name my son the World Ruler."
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
why
imagine
there's-
if they literally just said in English, what would you like to name your son? Ruler of the world. Okay, they wrote it down.
There you go.
But we're just using like an old Scottish term for it because we don't know what it means anymore. Names are just like meaningless things that sound nice.
When you meet a person from an Hispanic background and they have a last name like Vaca or Puerta during the
Vaca?
during the Spanish Inquisition, Jews convert to Catholicism or be exiled, and if you converted, they changed your name, but they gave you the name of something that was not noble.
Yeah.
and that's where you find people who are.
I
their
take
last
a
name
no,
is
no, no, no,
Cow.
no. Hold on.
Their last name
Vaca is
Cow.
very noble.
Cow, Door, no. Noble names are Torres, which is Tau.
No.
Right.
But see, and that's fine. But cows are lovely.
Cows are lovely, but so you find Hispanic people with
Milana
these boring
Torres.
last names. Originally, they were of Jewish ancestry.
Oh,
and
wow.
They gave them a non-noble last name to let them know that you're Catholic now, but you're still not one of us. So we named you.
But this is the
we named
craziest
you
thing.
Cow.
You know what I would do? Like, I just gotta be honest. They'd be like, "We are going to call you Tim Dorr." I'd be like, "Okay, thank you." And they turn on and be like, "My last name is Smith."
Yeah, Tim Torres.
I just
Yeah.
walk away like, Torres.
Tim Torres is a nice.
Write it down.
That's good.
And they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, whatever you say,"
Yeah.
because they didn't have IDs.
Just for laughs, I looked
That's
up
pretty
that,
crazy. Like back then, you
JD
just,
can change his name
they
every
write it
time
down.
you can.
They put it on the tax records. They always.
they're not gonna
know
draw a
you were by the
picture of my
tax-
face. I'll just go somewhere else.
Perhaps.
Just walk to another town and be like, "Who are you?" And be like, "Tim Torres."
But think about like in Bible times, in Jesus' time, you had to like go home to where you're from to pay your taxes.
Or you could just, not.
Might have been harder to change your name because everyone in town is like, no, you're not Torres.
Yeah, but that's why I said I would
your dad.
leave. I would leave.
You are a son
Well, a
of
lot of them
Joseph.
did leave. A lot of them became
Right.
the New World colonists. But I mean, imagine if they began changing names to reflect modern day professions. We got Tim Podcaster. We could have influencer.
Daniel
Sydney emailer. They could have a lot of great names.
Like
secretary.
Janet OnlyFans.
Yeah, Janet OnlyFans. That would be a good one.
OnlyFans.
Brenda Hooker.
Scott Supremacist.
I don't know if House Supremacists would go down at elementary school with the kids lining
That'd
up.
be
It's
funny.
like, Mr. Supremacist?
Considering we're getting like hyper specializations, names could get really weird. Like you'd have like Bill Leverpuller. It's like, oh,
Eric Excavator.
no, that one's okay.
It's
Jim
not bad.
Cop.
What?
Jim Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Jim
We
Cop.
have Rodney Conveyor Belt Line Operator,
Yeah, security guard.
security guard,
Yeah.
Rick Guard.
I like
But
also
last
when-
names we don't like. Last names just exist now. But first names, that's why I understand why people don't name their kids things that make things like
A lot of
that mean
people.
things.
A lot of people in Gen Z would be like Tom Bedrotter.
Oh, that's
Rick Hikikomori.
My cousin Steve Gooner, right? That's all they do.
Hooters would be the new Smith. Like, that would, everyone would be Smith. It's like, oh, it's Hooter.
And then like 70 years later, there's a guy in a fine suit going to a restaurant, and the server is like, "Hello, do you have a reservation?" I'm like, "Yes, for Rick under Gooner." And it's like, yes, the Gooners, right this way.
I'm a
Must come
Gooner.
from-
We're all- I thought that was me.
He must come from money.
we're
It
the
is
Los
pretty
Angeles
funny how like
Gooners.
nobody wants to be Adolf or Hitler these days.
No, not a very.
Those names are just
popular.
gone.
I don't know if it's nobody. There are
there-
people.
You don't see
I
a
just
lot
mean
of
I just mean in
Mussolinis
mainstream,
either.
Yeah.
In
Like this-
Spanish, I still knew when I lived in Mexico and Spain, you still meet people named Adolfo. I guess in Spanish it hasn't caught on as much.
Yeah.
There's also a lot more Jesus.
Well, you put an O at the end of it,
Lots
it's okay.
of Jesuses, yeah.
You put
We
an O
don't
at the end of
tend
it,
to
it's
do that.
it's different.
Yeah.
Or
I
maybe
also get a kick when
put a B in
Hollywood
front of it,
people
Bagel.
change their name, obviously because they want to get into the Hollywood world. The guy who was the lead in Walking Dead, Andrew Lincoln, his last name I think is like Clutterbuck. And he wanted to, and he's handsome and he's a good actor, and they were like, "Yeah, you're not gonna make it."
You don't really see a lot of Damians.
So we changed your name to Andrew Lincoln, which sounds a lot better. So
Clutterbuck it's not a good name.
it's a rough last name.
No,
Yeah.
Lincoln's. But Lincoln was pretty popular in the United States. You know.
Yeah. So you can change your name for Hollywood.
not a lot
or
of
change your name
Roosevelts
for your
anymore.
profession.
That's
Jackson.
A name that's out. Jackson is always a good name.
Jack's son.
If you add Jackson to anything, it sounds cool.
Now, if you're gonna pick a new name, you gotta pick like of. You know what I mean? You can be like your first name is what you do. So you'd be Gooner of New York. It's like a wild name to have. You know what I mean?
You'd be like Gooner
throw
Lenoy,
Gooner out. It's like,
Corner of studio apartment.
Right.
That's like.
well, but the name is like of is a city. It's not just gonna be
Owner of
like.
basement.
So like, could you imagine if somebody's name was like tax accountant of New York? You'd be like, that's not a very interesting. Like, there's a million of those.
It'd be the couch.
But no,
of
but
your
think
apartment.
about what that means if you go way back in time. You met a guy and you're like, what's your name? And he's like, horse tender of that hill.
Yeah.
Like that was his name. And so you'd be like, Philberg.
Yeah.
And now his name is Philberg.
There's been a couple times where someone have introduced themselves and their name actually floored me, and it's always been like at fundraisers or something. But once I met this elderly gentleman, oh, hello, sir. Nice to meet you, Daniel Turner. And he was like, hello, Randolph Hearst. Get the hell out of here. Like, I literally was floored. Another time, Bill Marriott. Hey, Bill Marriott. Like, oh, this is your hotel.
Was it actually, though?
It was Bill Marriott. He was like 88 years old, and it was like, Bill Marriott. Like, it was just really cool when you meet
Is it Marriott Hilton now, or are they separate?
No, they're separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I met a Rothschild once.
That's a pretty cool last
Yeah.
name. I met a,
And you know what they did? They said they went to, I think it was like the W, and they literally, because they were not really Rothschilds, it's just a name. So there's like the actual family, and then there's like a name.
Yeah.
And they said that she was like, she would go with her girlfriends to like hotels and get free stuff by flashing her ID at them.
I thought she was a Rothschild.
Well, she literally
She's a
was,
Rothschild,
but she
yeah.
wasn't that Rothschild.
She wasn't the rich one. Yeah.
She saw like a deviation somewhere down the line, I guess.
Is it she, huh?
Yeah.
Not the principal family. And then she'd get like comped meals.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She had to put her ID down and be like, is it possible to get a comped meal here? And they'd look and they'd be like, yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
it is.
Isn't that wild how that works? Rich people, they give you free
The
stuff.
response should be, you're
Yeah.
a Rothschild. You can pay for it. Right?
So I'll tell you a story.
The less you need free stuff, the more free stuff gets thrown at you.
Here's the secret to life. If you have a ton of money, the bank gives you more money.
Yep.
So if you put money in the bank and you have a lot of it, the bank just pays you every month. It's nuts. So right now, X Money is paying 6% 6% APY. So let's say you have $1 million in cash. You put it in X, you get 60 grand a year just for nothing, just because you're rich. Let's say you have 2 million. Now you're getting 120K and you're making more than the average person makes working a job, and you do nothing. You don't work at all just because you're rich. I don't want to say this derisively because I'm very grateful, but me and some friends went to MGM and we let the one of the managers know in advance. And they were, I was with another high profile guy. And so they said, absolutely. And walked us through the private entrance, brought us to the casino. And then when we went to get dinner, without asking, they comped a $1,000 meal. Just because.
Just for fun.
When you're rich, they give you stuff for free.
It's true. When you're in a band, like if you're starting out, trying to get anything for free from any kind of like instruments, guitars, all that kind of stuff, amps and stuff, you have to pay for all of it. It's expensive. It's a pain in the balls. Once you get to the point where people are paying attention to your band, then your guitar companies, your amp companies are like, yeah, we can give you a deal, or yeah, we'll give you a couple guitars, blah 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 blah, because you're promoting their product and people care. But when you need it, you don't get it. When you don't need it, then they're just like here. And obviously, the more famous and more influential you become, the more free stuff. People are banging down your doors and be like, here, we'll just play our guitars. Please play our guitars. Use our amp. Check out this new input.
Is that ultimately why all the young people want to be influencers on social media? Do they want? I mean, there is a lot of free stuff. You see people all the
They do
time.
get a lot of free stuff.
Is-
And I mean, companies pay to advertise their products and everything, and there's so many companies
Or they
that
just
give
comp you, yeah.
give free I mean,
Cool.
not any of us influencers.
Yeah.
I don't think any company wants me to advertise their products, except for Passage Press and White Pill, the online right, and the making of Trump's America. But no, like the normal influencers are gym influencers and stuff. They get so much free stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like a competition.
Not to mention, like with all the sponsors we have, we get mailed free stuff endlessly. It's pretty weird how the world works, but it certainly is haves and have-nots.
I used to go through and take whatever T-shirts were good cotton.
Libby gets a free dozen eggs every time she comes.
Yeah, sometimes I do get a free dozen eggs. Oh, I'll be on Pop Culture Crisis tomorrow. I'll take 2 dozen eggs.
Oh, will you?
I don't know how many we have as of recently though, because it's
If there's any eggs, I'm taking the eggs.
Chicken City, baby. Hey, we're going to go to your Rumble rants and Super Chat, so smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Let's see what you guys have to say. KO says, affirmative action is magic soil thinking applied to academics in the workplace. Magic soil's not real. Promoting incapable people will not make them or their kids excel. It's now a proven fact. Did you guys see the data? I got to do. I should record a segment on it. The taboo subjects of science. A bunch of scientists were surveyed asking what questions are you not allowed to ask, and overwhelmingly they said race and IQ.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that we have tons and tons of research showing a correlation between race and IQ, everyone's like, shh. The next one was gender binary stuff. And this is why the left is a psycho cult, and they're anti-science, and, it's bad. All right, Jaded says, Tim, it was amazing catching you on Louder with Crowder. I listen to you both every day I can. It would be outstanding to have you on their next apologetics show. Stay awesome, bro. Right on. It was very fun indeed. Crowder's great. He's very funny. Schnozberry says, so if I'm 5'5" inches, should I say I'm 5'5" or 5'6", or just yell at people when someone says nothing related to height?
Yell at
The
people.
latter. The latter.
Yell at
Be
people.
aggressive.
Yeah.
El Jefe says ranked choice voting screwed the GOP in the Alaska governor race. 2 Democrats on the ballot, 12 GOP. The 2 Dems advanced to the final election. Yep. It's a trick. Joe Giggle says, with the constant dumbing of America and not allowing people to excel, we are entering the Harris-Bergeron era of the Marxist agenda of the DSA. Hey, I got a question for everybody. We'll save this for the Uncensored show, so don't answer. But did you see the video of the Polish soldier shooting those migrants?
I'm aware of its existence.
Massive virality. We'll talk about that in the Uncensored portion of the shows because there are many questions about how a country functions and how it defends itself. Empic says, I say Tim should make a WWE-style game. He could finish fools with the beanie bomb. Alex Jones could be the heel with the 5 gay frog splash. Tate could manage the Zoomerwaffen. No, it would be more like Marvel versus Capcom, the OG. And we're very, very close to this existing. So I went on Claude and I said, make a game. That's it. And it made a game where it's like asteroids. Rocks are flying at you and you have to deflect them. And I said, okay, fine, basic arcade game, but boring. So I said, no, make like a mining game. Call it Mine Quest. And what did it make? It made a side-scrolling kind of Minecraft game where you break rocks, take the minerals, upgrade your materials, get dynamite, and you mine increasingly higher difficulties. And it literally took a minute. We are probably a year away from me being able to say, make a fighting game with Tim Pool and Alex Jones. And it will do it. And the graphics will be great. It's going to be wild. Shade says, this talking about people not wanting solutions reminds me of an old YouTube video called It's Not About the Nail. It's less than 3 minutes and pretty funny. Right on. Same old man says, Libby, Phil is right. Women don't like accountability. Repeal the 19th. Right, Phil?
Repealing the 19th does not go nearly far enough. Not even close to far enough.
Muzzle them all. Put them at home.
No, it's not about women. It's about removing voters from the voter rolls. So like just prohibiting women from voting isn't enough. There are way more people need to be removed from the voting rolls, myself included. I'm completely comfortable with that.
Shane H. Wilder says, speaking of nominative determinism, there's an Austin vasectomy doctor named Dr. Dick Chop.
Wow. Like the ass man. That was another Seinfeld
Richard
reference.
Chop.
That one.
Donald Trump is an example of it. J.D. Vance would be too.
And didn't his family change their name? They weren't always Trump. That was
Trump.
Trump, yeah.
But that means the same thing.
Anglicized it, yeah.
Yeah.
Drumpf. Remember when Drumpf was an insult for some reason?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I mean, I do. It's basically saying in club. When you say Drumpf, you are signaling to people. So it might as well have just been like,
Yeah.
like give them a honk sound. Can we force this meme on the left somehow, trick them into doing it? If they're going to say, haha, Drumpf, it's like, well, that's not insulting to Trump in any meaningful way. Doesn't matter. What they're really saying is, I'm in the club as loud as they can. So we should make a fake meme where they quack. So then you'll see liberals walk around going, rah, 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 and we'll be like, that's how it goes, you know? But I do got to say, I understand Dr. Doom. Watching Democrats and how they function and how they vote, and these Lindsey Clancy supporters, I'm just like, maybe we do need Doom.
We definitely need to make sure that fewer people vote. They shouldn't. Universal enfranchisement is an error. So,
Wyatt Kaldenberg says Marxists murdered between 100 and 170 million people. Who cares if they want to ban Christmas? They are evil. I don't understand why the right doesn't have the guts to call them what they are.
I thought we were calling it what they are.
But I want to clarify that this is the banality of evil. The reason why they're dangerous and evil is because they're zombies. They're political zombies. I'm going to refer to them as political zombies from now on. The political zombies are reference to someone who doesn't understand politics at all and marches in lockstep with a large group. That's it. The left is characterized by an ignorance to actual policy outcomes, to the laws where they could even implement some of these policies, and what is actually happening in the world. So like the Israel derangement syndrome people, political zombies, they don't know, they don't care. And then you have people like Alex Jones, where he's fully cognizant, but he's decided it's better to be with them. If you can't beat him, join him. So that's what he's done. And that's where we're currently at. What does it say? Volaire says, we are not a nation of laws and never have been. We are a nation of political will and always will be. Steve Deese, he is correct.
That's, I mean, that's representative of all, basically all societies, right? Even when you've got a monarch, the monarch is the one that's exerting his will on the population. Yeah. So
12-foot tennis says, glad to see the voice actor for John Malkovich on the show. Very cool. Who?
Is that you, Scott?
Is it me?
I don't know.
I didn't know I'm sound like John Malkovich. Do you?
I don't think you do at all.
I don't sound like John Malkovich. That's like somebody I've never been accused of sounding like.
Maybe it's
I don't know.
someone else. Yeah. Let's see. Milkman says the Sullivan thing happened in Washington, but for governor. 2 other Fergusons ran, but since the real one was WAAG, he got them removed or his name at the top. It's all rigged. These people are evil.
Yeah.
If we are unwilling to exercise power against them, then we just lose. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yep.
That's why
I
we
mean,
need.
not across the board. I think that that poll company that closed because it turned out they were just churning out fake polls. I think I think the polling is wrong in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
I think Tafoya has a much better chance than people think she does against Flanagan.
This is why we need someone that is willing to exert, authority the way that Abraham Lincoln was. We need another Lincoln. We need someone that's willing to do what's necessary to save the republic.
Suspending habeas corpus.
Well, I mean, I don't know that that's necessary to save the republic, but
Burn Atlanta again.
What?
Definitely burn Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, look, like
And Richmond. I don't know why we're burning Richmond down. but we're
expel
doing it.
communists, expel people that for political ideology.
There's a nice museum in Atlanta.
So
I would just like to add one last thing before we go. Chris Martinson is mentally retarded.
he's
So I made a post from my morning show where I said, obviously, most of us don't trust the official narrative pertaining to Charlie Kirk's assassination. We don't know. But the claims that Erica Kirk, Turning Point, or Israel involved are completely absurd because there's no evidence to that fact. If you want to question the official narrative, with the 30-06 being one of the best questions of, it is surprising a 30-06 would be stopped, and that's a fine question. Why would you then go from that point to Israel? To which he responds with, the conspiracies make perfect sense if you understand physics. A 30-06 bullet, 2,000 foot-pounds of force cannot be stopped by human neck ever. And I said, wow, that proves Israel did it. But because he's retarded, he doesn't understand. We are in a nation of people that are really, really stupid. So guys, I really understand Democrats. I do. I really just get it. It's like, are we going to try and convince this guy? I mean, he's got to be like, what, 60? Ain't no fixing that.
The thing about that is all of the documents are available online through the Utah County court system. You can just go read every document. Every article that we publish at the Post Millennial about this trial includes the documents from the court.
But have
we
would
read
have to
them.
read, though.
But have you considered documents schmockuments? Right? Like, because that's just Fed slop. That's just the government line.
It's not. There's the prosecutor's documents, and then there's the defense documents, and so you can read them
You're gonna
all.
believe all that?
Yeah, all Fed
I don't
slop
care if you
all
don't
that.
believe any of
documents
it.
Sure.
schmockuments.
The point
definitely
is-
You're
gonna
gonna
read
trust
it all.
that or your
If,
favorite
if,
podcast?
if Chris Martinson is not capable of comprehending a simple statement, we don't necessarily trust the prosecution's claims, but that doesn't mean there's evidence to Israel. And he goes, well, there is if you understand physics.
That
And
doesn't
then I
make
go,
any sense.
wow, I guess the bullet proves Israel did. He goes, I never said that. Well, that's because your brain doesn't work, and I can't help you with that. We're going to go to the uncensored portion of the show and talk about naughty things. So smash the like button, share the show with everyone you've ever met. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Scott, do you want to shout anything out?
Yes, I want to. Once again, I don't think you guys have heard enough about this, but I have a new book out that you must read and get it on Amazon. It's called White Pill, the online right and making of Trump's America. Get it today. People absolutely love it. They say it's their favorite book of all time besides The Art of the Deal.
And the publisher?
And the publisher is Passage Press, of course.
There we go. Daniel Turner, Power of the Future. You can follow me on all the social platforms, Daniel Turner PTF. And if you like farming here in beautiful Virginia, Bristol Farm, Virginia on social media as well. Follow us. We have the most beautiful animals in the area. So thank you very much. Great to be with y'all.
I'm Libby Emmons, and I am the editor with the Post Millennial. And I'd really like to shout out our sponsor for the Post Millennial, Sound.money. They're a great new gold company where you can buy it like Bitcoin and send it like Venmo. And when you check it out at sound.money/Libby, that helps the Post Millennial and all the great work that we do.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. You can check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Phil That Remains. The band is All That Remains. You can check out our music on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, YouTube, Spotify, and Deezer. Carter. Oh, don't forget the Left Lanes for Crime. Carter.
That too. And I'm Carter Banks. You can follow me at Carter Banks on X, at Carter Banks Official on Instagram. Record label is at Trash House Records on YouTube. Check out Scott's book. Where do you find that again, Scott?
You can find it on Amazon and Passage Press's official website, passage.press.
Excellent. All right, dude. Let's go to the after show, everyone.
We'll see you all over at rumble.com/Timcast IRL right now. Thanks for hanging out.